landfill today didn't even exist then, right? And once a landfill is having several hundred thousands of waste, you can't lift it up and put a geomembrane underneath.
The leachate. In the dumping site, you cannot collect the leachate. During rain, the leachate will flow directly to sometimes to the surface, or it is penetrating.
Sir, India is a champion of jugaad, sir. What are you telling? Like, even in landfills, they have found ways to deal with leachates.
You go to the literature of landfill.
I have been through the literature, sir.
That is.
No worries. I mean, I would be curious to have the numbers, because CPCP reports we have 3,159 landfills in our country. CPCP reports, right? So it's always safer to go with government numbers. See, it's when you say landfill, the ideal term should be dump site. So there's a fundamental difference between landfill and dump site. If you're talking about landfill, it is engineered. If you're talking about dump site, it could be any place. So that's how we say. No, good. Okay, so no questions.
Can I ask?
So after lunch, the number of questions automatically reduces.
I have a question. Ma'am, if you could shed some light on how the ban has been so effective in Sikkim. Like you mentioned about the festival time of the festivals, okay, fine. But rest of the time, how is it that the ban is so successful? Can you elaborate or shed some light on that?
Strict monitoring is there. We have a supervision team only. They go on monitoring, and then they go on enforcement drives also. Now, I cannot say 100%, but as far as even if you come to Sikkim, you will be noticing the difference. You will be noticing the difference.
So there's some penalty system.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is there. And even I think few months back, even our municipal corporate, the MC, some people were seen throwing garbage on the road just like that. He himself, he went and then he started scolding those people, and it was all live, and they put it on the Facebook so that other people do not follow it. Not showing, at least the person was not shown, but it was clicked from the other angle, so that only he was being shown, but it was put on the Facebook, and it was very effective.
Thank you so much.
That is also there. Yes.
Because we have been playing this micron game for decades. It's not going anywhere. So, अगर प्लास्टिक कैरी बैग पूरे इंडिया में बैन हो जाएगा तो हमारा प्लास्टिक का प्रॉब्लम बहुत it will be solved to a large extent. Okay, so next is Meghalaya. Please come forward and make your presentation.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Swampir Shidap. I'm from Meghalaya. Before I start with the presentation, I just wanted to go back to the Swachh Survekshan and the Swachhtam portal. I don't know whether the other states will agree with me, but the Swachhtam portal and the Swachh Survekshan is very complicated portal, which when I asked the ministry that we cannot upload anything in the Swachhtam portal, they said because maybe in Meghalaya there's a network issue. And one fine day I went to Delhi. It happened to be I have a meeting in Delhi. I sit in Delhi and I told them I use the Wi-Fi of the hotel. I told them that I called that person who's a coordinator of Meghalaya. I told him that I cannot upload. Again, he told me that maybe there's some network issue. I told him I'm in Delhi. How can you say that there's a network issue? So I don't really agree. And a state like us will generate 2.7 tons a day. I don't know how do they accept that data. Okay, so I'm not against them. Maybe there's some, and they were trying. We had a meeting with the ministers with the union ministers and all this. So they were telling us that soon they will they will rectify all the Swachhatam portal, these apps and all. So let's hope for the best. And I'm not very disappointed also that Meghalaya become the last in the Swachh Survekshan, because I can invite you all to come to Meghalaya. It's not as clean as you, but it is dirty, but compared to other states, it's clean. Yeah, it's not as dirty as Swachh Survekshan. Okay, so we have under the Urban Affairs Department, under the Urban Swachh Bharat, we have 10 ULBs with, and it covers 9 districts, and a total number of ward is 142, and area covered is 201 square kilometers. Population, estimated population of 2022, it's 4.41 lakh. Population density is 4628. So actually, whenever I come to CSE, I'm a bit opportunist because I want to learn from other states. So I put the slide as, I have so many things to talk, but I put a slide as per the format given to me, but I try to short the slide. So the current status of solid waste management in Meghalaya, it's the waste generation from all these 10 ULBs is 182. And the collected is 147. The gap in collection is 35. The quantity of segregated transported is 82.25. Gap in segregated is 100. Quantity of MSW process, municipal waste process, is 78. Out of 182, it's only 78. So, and why I put a star mark in the secure landfill site, the waste that goes to secure landfill site. I'll tell you, in Meghalaya, we have only one landfill site. Out of the 10 ULBs, only one ULB has a landfill site. So the gap in waste management is 73.8. And these are the data, and this is the landfill site as of the present status of landfill site is we have a landfill site, a capacity of 1.3 lakhs, which covers only for 2 ULBs. That is the Shillong Municipal Board and the Shillong Containment Board. And the target is for 4 lakhs tons of waste for out of 10 for 7 another ULBs. And the gap is 3 lakhs. That means we are till now, I'm not saying that 3 lakhs is being dumped. I know we in Meghalaya, we have this traditional practice of that. Whatever waste we use it for especially the biodegradable waste. Like my friends from Arunachal said, biodegradable waste, we need to make it a habit that to use it at home. Give it to piggery, poultry, we can convert it to piggery feed, poultry feed, and compost, and kitchen garden. And people in Meghalaya, they love flowers. So they still use it. After segregation of waste, 1 ULB, that is Shillong Municipal Board. Okay, Shillong Municipal Board, one of the ULB, the main ULB of Meghalaya. You can see we are sending 2 trucks. We have a route map of the collection of different areas. We used to cover around 11 to 12 route map in a day. And so many people, they just come with 1 bucket. That is, they dispose only the non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste, they use it for kitchen garden or other purposes. And sometimes the strange thing is that even those people who have this piggery farms, they come along with their van and collect the biodegradable waste so that they can take it to they don't need to buy any food, piggery food. So they just collect it for us, the waste that is segregated by the household. Except Shillong Municipal Board, which has around 70% of source segregation. Other boards, I'll tell you frankly, we are yet to start. Waste management is very new for us, I'll tell you. Other boards, we have only 2-3% of source segregation. I won't tell you, I won't lie, I won't exaggerate, but this is the fact. And even Shillong Municipal Board now, it's dropping down because of monitoring. So now we are trying to we are asking interns and all. By next month, we will put the the supervision team, the monitoring team on the ground. So the current challenges, I don't know how many of you are aware that Meghalaya falls under the ambit of 6th schedule, and we have an autonomous body. Why I said Assam and Tripura also, I think. So why I said administration, I don't mean to blame the urban affairs department or the government of Meghalaya. Administration is actually, we have a complex administration. We have a multi-administration, which under the 6th schedule, we have this autonomous body. Under this Khasi Hills, we have a Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council. And under Garo Hills, we have Garo Hills District Council. And Joai, we have Jaintia Hills District Council. Okay, so the land doesn't belong to the government. And these Khasi Hills, they give a power to the kings, traditional kings. And these kings, they give the power to the Dorbar Shnong. This is the locality heads. So they are the one who look after and the Shillong, I'll just cite an example of the city of Shillong. City of Shillong covers an area of 72 square kilometers, whereas the area which falls under the Shillong Municipal Board, that also not an Shillong Municipal Board area, but the Shillong Municipal Board administered area. I hope you understand my point. Administered and area is different. Administered, that means they just give a service. Okay, so we have a multiple of this governments. So it's very difficult for us. But at the same time, I'll tell you, we are using this. We are using this problem as a solutions. This is the way, this is how we use it. That is, we know that the Dorbar Shnong has these locality has more power than the municipals. So we go directly with them, involve them. Once we get to crack them, I'll tell you, you'll see the amazing results. Once the participation is there from their side, from their end, that means you'll see the good transformation. So for the last 10 years, I've been actually, I'll tell you, I belong from the sports background. I did my master's in sports science and management. But when I came back to Shillong, I saw the dirty of our rivers, and also it makes me go for a crash course of waste management. Now I'm the capacity building of solid waste management in Meghalaya. So that's how my journey. So, and the next challenging is awareness. People, they are lack of, they don't know actually what happened before 2014. What happened is the whatever implementation is done from the top level to the bottom level. Okay, so for example, bylaws of Meghalaya, it doesn't come from ULBs. It comes from the state government, which knows nothing about. Let us be frank. The commissioner secretary, the joint, the chief secretary won't know how to collect the waste. Whether ULBs, they know, right? So our bylaws come from the state government to the ULBs, which is, for me, it's very wrong. Then in 2018, we changed the bylaws. Although it's a state bylaws followed by ULBs, but we asked all the ULBs to prepare, and we sit together and compile it, and it becomes a state bylaws, solid waste management state bylaws. So that's how we are trying to involve the ULBs. So, and for this, we need a lot of awareness program. I'll tell you, we are very new to solid waste management. We are the first city. Shillong is the first city that segregated the waste. In 2015, June 5th, 2015, we already started the segregation of waste. And Shillong is the first city that has started among the northeastern state that started the PPE module on the waste management. But I'll tell you, that is before 2010, it failed miserably. Why? Because there's no awareness program. I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but going to talk to the public, sometimes public doesn't listen to you, but we keep on, my colleagues here, Palvi Dora Kharkongor, she's an IC specialist. Actually, we from 2000, before 2010, when we are in college and all, she's in NSS and all. So we keep on going for this waste management. So we got a results in 2019, 2020. So, but I told them not to lose hope. Now I'll tell you in Meghalaya, because of the awareness, consistent awareness program, I'll tell you in Shillong, there's the government would, for solid waste management back in 2010 and all, government take it very lightly. But now what happened, because of the awareness program, people are aware of it. And I'll tell you, so many environment enthusiasts groups, they have come up, they pressure the government to clean the river. And now the government has to set up a committee for the river rejuvenation. We have so many public figure people who goes to the river and clean. And they have become, I can say, environment extremists. They force the government to do something for the two rivers, which is a major rivers of Shillong. And now it has spread to Tura, to Joai. Now there's a case of in NGT of Joai Minturu rivers. So now that is our results of consistent and awareness program right from 2010. So implementation, what happened is that the state used to implement whatever and hand it over to the ULBs, but now the system is changing. Now the ULB asks the state, this is what required. And just recently we have here Peaceful Roy. He's a solid waste management expert, and he's doing this now, the comprehensive saturation action plan of the LBs. Why? Because in SBM, when we did a saturation plan, I'll tell you, I'm so sorry if I hurt anyone, but Delhi people will always sit from Delhi and say, no, this is not good for you. This is good for you, do this. That is, for me, it's very wrong. When I got a call from Javed that you share whatever you want so that from CSC, they can talk to Mawa. So I would like to share that also. That is very wrong, sitting from Delhi and commanding the Meghalaya that you have to do this. No, that is very wrong. And for dump site remediation, they ask us, no, you have to do at 550 per tons of dump site legacy waste, which is not feasible. We have done a DPR, detailed project report. It comes to 1,200 and all for a state like us, a terrain like us. But they didn't agree. Finally, when I showed them the DPR and all, when we had a meeting when we showed them the DPR and all, they say, no, it's a grant from us. So that's how they, okay, so implementation also now, why this arrow is going straight, not circle, because it's a positive sign that it's moving away. So current challenges in waste management, although there's a source segregation and all, and there's a people participation and all, but still there's lack of ownership. Don't mind me saying this, that we tend to clean our house. I don't know about CSE, but I'll just cite an example that CSE campus is very clean, but maybe, I don't know, we have a practice that I'll clean my house, but I'll throw outside. The government, the problem is the government. We don't own the system. We don't own the environment. So collection efficiency. Okay, in Shillong Municipal Board, the collection efficiency it's good, but in other boards, they have lack of fund, lack of resource, lack of users, charges and all. Because of our governance systems, till now, there's no notified user charge. So monitoring system, I told you that even the Shillong, that has a source segregation at 70%, but now it's declined because we have a lack of monitoring system. So we are trying our best. And I'll tell you one good part is that the government of Meghalaya has put a special team, a special unit we call Program Management Unit, which Sir Peace and Madam Palvi is there, and other myself, and to look after this waste management and to support, not to be the boss of the ULBs, but to support them, to guide them and to take them for exposure trips like this and all, to support them in whatever way we can. So current challenges of processing is that I told you that the PPP mode of Shillong is failed miserably because of the lack of segregation at source. When it comes to machine, it cannot segregate, and the byproducts of that is a toxic compost. So even now we are facing these challenges, that processing inadequate citizen participation. Shillong 70% dropped down to 59 or something. I didn't get the correct figure as of now, but other ULBs 2% and all. So we won't make a mistake again installing the compost plant. I'll tell you, in one ULB we installed the compost plant. We haven't used it, but now it's spoiled. Okay, so we don't want to make that mistake again. So we want to put in the mindset of the people, to change the mindset of the people first. So space constraint for setting up of local treatment facilities. Like Madam from Sikkim said, like they not behind my backyard. I won't allow you to have a treatment system you have in my neighbor's backyard, but not in my backyard. That is the attitude. We wanted to change this. And operation and maintenance, as I told you, there's a constraint of resources. In Meghalaya, none of the ULB has a notified user charge. So they charge a user charge for example, Shillong Municipal Board, they have the tipping fees of that area outside its jurisdiction, and from these hotels and all. Only that is which is not sufficient. And other boards, they depend on the government, on the state government. So when there's no resource, then how will we expect a sustainability when there's no resource to sustain that? There's no operation and maintenance. So the current challenges in infrastructure, this is the landfill site which we have prepared drawings. Okay, there's a maps. Okay, the plan is there. Okay, the infrastructure to bring it's there, but people, again, I'll cite the words of Madam from Sikkim, that not behind my backyard. People, they don't allow us to have. So what we are planning is that there's one, and this legacy remediation, or this landfill remediation, we want to make it into a park and all, so that people will see that, okay, this landfill, after being used, it's not spoiling our backyard and all. So technology disadvantages, lack of regional availability. Okay, I'll tell you, we have installed a compost plant in Shillong, and we have installed this RDF plant in Tura. But if only one conveyor belt crack and all, we have to wait for people from Delhi to come all the way to Shillong to Tura. We don't have a regional facility. We don't have a regional skills, labors and all so that is the challenges we face in the infrastructures. So recommendation for improvement is that localized waste management system. Localized waste management system now under Swachh Bharat mission, we are planning to have this, as I told you, the locality wise, they have a power. So we are planning to put it behind their backyard. Convert the waste, whatever waste, as per the study done by NIT, Guwahati, I think, and Nehu, Shillong, waste is around 70% to 80%. It's not a waste, it's a resource. So we have formed self-help group in each of the boards, and we will construct for them this WRC, waste recovery centers, resource recovery centers, material, whatever name you call it, but it'll recover the waste, and only the rejects will go to the landfill site, which the plan is there to install or to set up a landfill site, for small landfill site for all these ULBs. And let's, all of us, we don't have much time. So I just want to conclude that waste is a responsibility. Waste is not it's not a menace if we take a responsibility. I'll just conclude my presentation, which let's treat the waste as a responsibility, with a question to you, all of you. I used to ask this question whenever I go for public meeting, public awareness programs and all. So my question is, I have 3 questions for you. Is that one is that I'm not being against anyone, okay? So sorry if I hurt anyone, any religious. So whenever you go to the church, to the mandir, to the masjid, do you litter? Do you spit? Do you litter? Yes or no? What about this side? I can't hear you. Do you litter? No. Okay. Second, second question is why? Okay. Can I simplify it? It's holy place, right? Okay. The third question is, who constructed or who made that holy place? Human beings, right? So, okay, one more question I'll add. Who built the world? Who constructed the world? Who built the world and who constructed the world? God, right? So let's be responsible. Don't be too materialistic. We have only one world. Thank you. If there's any question, please.
Congratulations, sir. You got ASEA's cleanest village, Meghalaya mein hai. That is like one of the best model in India. And I just wanted to know, since we are working in Assam, and how you are collaborating with tourism department. Since like when we visit Meghalaya, it's clean, the tourist attraction places are. So how do you collaborate? Do you have any like interdepartment convergence meet or something else? How do you monitor it? That I wanted to know.
Thank you for your question. Actually, as I told you, we have from 2010, we have been going for awareness program. Now we are trying to converge. Even now, when I was sitting there, the chief secretary was calling for a meeting of all the departments, tourism department, the major departments on waste management, tourism department, the PWD, PHE. So now it's streamlined. Now even the tourism department has allocated some funds for the tourists for setup of these waste recovery centers and all. So I cannot say much because we have to frame guidelines on that. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Doesn't have to be a question. It could be anything. A comment, a compliment, anything. Any personal
हाय सो देर आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन में देख रहा था, जो आपने एंड में भी जो सवाल किए थे, मैं थोड़ा सा हकीकत पे जाऊंगा। सच्चाई बताऊं क्या है कि जितनी भी ये होली प्लेसेस हैं, सबसे ज्यादा वेस्ट यहीं से आता है। प्लीज मुझे गलत मत समझें। नारियल, मतलब मैं आई एम हिंदू, तो मुझे पता है, मैं जब मंदिर जाता हूँ तो नारियल हुआ, माता की चुनरी हुई, धूपबत्ती हुई, अगरबत्ती हुई, प्रसाद हुआ, भंडारा हुआ, जितना वेस्ट, इवन दूध के पैकेट्स भी अब आने शुरू हो गए हैं, क्योंकि पहले तो लोग लोटे में या गिलास में दूध लेकर आते थे, अब वो पैकेट्स में आना शुरू हो गया है, चलन शुरू हो गया है। सो जितना वेस्ट टेम्पल्स में हमारे यहाँ पर निकल रहा है, चाहे वो फ्लावर वेस्ट हो, चाहे कोई भी चीज हो, उतना शायद मेरे को लगता है कि ये सच है कि ये बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ चुका है। हम मानते हैं कि वो होली प्लेस है, वो मेरा मंदिर है, वो मेरा मस्जिद है, गुरुद्वारा है, वो चीजें वहां पर नहीं होनी चाहिए, बट ट्रुथ इज दैट कि उसके बैकयार्ड में एक पूरा ही मिलता है अलग से देखने को यार। थैंक यू।
You mentioned that you have a gap of 3 lakh tons for your landfill. Now, I'm curious to hear more about it. So, are you assuming that the additional quantity for which you don't have a place to put those waste, you need to put more landfill than what was the thought?
Actually, the landfills is not the best solutions. Actually, like what from the Arunachal, huh? We are not trying to relocate waste from one place to another. But there's we don't have a high-tech technology that will go for zero waste. So that's why we have identified small lands for the 20% of the rejects which we cannot. We have identified in all ULBs, all the ULBs, they have identified the lands and all. So, but we'll have to go for, as I'll just tell you, in Shillong, we have identified a land, but the present commissioner secretary, which is very young and dynamic, he wants us to do a survey first, study first, which we have done from November on what is the actual requirements of Shillong after we recover this 80% of resource. So what is actual now the surveys on the ground, which is in the month of May, we'll have a committee which will analyze the survey, and this survey will go from Shillong to Tura, from Tura to Joai. That is before we construct the landfill site. That is the process we are going through.
Can you hear me? So we have in Happy Valley, Assam Regiment Center and 50th GTC.
Yes.
They generate a lot of, waste in bulk. And DG Assam Rifle at Dhanketi. So how do you cater to it? Like, they use your municipal dump site? Or do they have their own in-house arrangement to, dispose of their waste?
Okay, Happy Valley falls, the place which he say, Happy Valley, falls under that 72 square kilometers, which they are still using the landfill site of Shillong Municipal. Yes, so, but for the collection, Happy Valley doesn't fall under the Shillong Municipal Board. So I think the local area, the locality out there, the Dorbar Shillong out there, collects it and come and dispose it in the landfill site of Shillong. Okay. So now, even for those also, they have served a notice and all from 1st May that they won't accept any unsegregated waste. Yes. Bulk waste generation.
Amount of waste generated in that particular, area. So when you start accepting, which you have not catered to it during the survey period, it tends to, disrupt the maintenance or operations of the dump site. Do you face a similar issue? I'm saying that.
Can you repeat again?
I said, like in Manipur, we have a municipal dump site, waste disposal at Lamding. You call it plant, waste to energy or whatever. So the plant capacity was done on a survey conducted that how much waste is generated, and according to the survey, the plant was installed,
Yes.
waste to energy. But what has happened is waste generated from, group center, Langsing, center CRPF, Limokong, 57 Mountain Deep, IGR South, various other, like periphery ULBs. So when they started coming in, with due pressures and due recommendation or due reference, it overflows the plant, capacity. So do you face a similar issue? I'm saying that.
Yes, we did. I'll tell you. That's why I told you we have served a notice to them that from the 1st May, they should not bring the unsegregated waste. And I'll just tell you this one more. For this, we call it, after this survey and all, which was done in 2014 and all, these are clubs as bulk waste generators. And now we have make a presentation to the government and all, and the government is now it's ready to make a pilot of this waste, pilots for waste, a bulk waste generator. That is there's a police reserve, in Police Bazaar, they have quarters of around 300 quarters. So whatever waste that they generated, we'll install a waste recovery centers, a treatment, indigenous treatment plan over there, and they employ the local youth of that area, and they will recover whatever waste as resource for them, then only the 20% will go to the landfill site. That is we'll try to pilot it first, then we will, maybe in the next meeting, I can meet you, I'll say whether it's success or fail. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the nice presentation. So from your presentation, you have not quantified what is the amount of solid waste generated in the Shillong, and how much recyclable material which is you are selling to the any society, and what is the amount. Secondly, in the Meghalaya, there are two dumping site. Okay, one is Jorai and Martin. Am I right?
Now, Joy, we don't have Joy, we have a
Landfilling site.
dumping ground, not a landfill
Dumping
site.
ground, I'm telling you. So in that Jorai, why till now no composting plant is there? And secondly, what is the difficulty of the composting, establish the composting plant in the landfilling site?
Okay. I'll first is that the figure which I gave you, okay,
Okay,
it doesn't, the figure of waste generation, it doesn't include the 72 square kilometers,
okay,
of Shillong.
okay,
Shillong city is a 72 square kilometers,
okay,
whereas the figure we took of only Shillong Municipal Board administered area, that is
Okay.
only 90 tons per day.
okay,
Okay, so that is, we include only the urban, whereas the outside the municipal, it doesn't fall under the urban. Shillong
Okay.
city has a different figures,
right,
different figures of the generation, transportation, and the process. Shillong city, we have one specific data for Shillong city.
okay,
The data which I give you, it's only for urban local bodies. That is the
okay,
Shillong Municipal Board, the Tura,
okay,
the other. I think you might know, you are from Shillong.
right, right,
So, and regarding the compost plan, okay, a compost plan, that is, we haven't set any compost plan in Joy. We set a compost plan in Clarion, which will be operated which will be catered to the waste, biodegradable waste of Joy also.
Okay.
And now in the landfill site of Joy, that not landfill site, it's integrated waste management processing centers,
okay,
which they have identified the land, and now they have asked the government for approval of that land. And once the government approval, it will go for EIA and all, and the public hearing, which we have taken those people to go out to see how the waste management is there, so that it'll be easy for us on the public hearing and all. Yes.
okay, good. And lastly, some like NIT Meghalaya, several times they are organizing different type of event for solid waste management and water treatment, and also that air pollution. But the participation from your side, like the municipality and SPCB of Meghalaya, we have never found in our campus.
Sir, I'm so sorry.
Because several
Actually-
times I have sent invitation to
Actually,
all government.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I'll just complete. I would love to join your.
Yeah.
Actually, we got all the data from IIT
Okay.
Guwahati. I would love to join you, sir, but till now
Okay.
I didn't get any formal letter. Thank you.
Okay.
So before Assam starts, I have few food for thoughts for all of you. So in the presentation of Meghalaya, he mentioned that in most of the time, the vehicle comes back with very minimal waste, especially wet waste, if I'm not wrong, right? So why does that happen? Say I'm sending a vehicle which has a design capacity of say 5 tons, and it comes back with 1 ton of waste. So what exactly do we waste in this case? You don't have to answer me right now, because we'll discuss these issues later, but I need you to think about it, because it is not a Meghalaya specific thing, it is happening everywhere. Okay, so what are we missing in this discussion? Second issue, He mentioned that in many cases, wet waste is utilized locally. We all know that half of our waste is wet waste, right? And it is the wet waste that creates havoc. You imagine a landfill without wet waste. Landfill is not a problem. And the design life of landfill would be 500 years instead of 10 years if wet waste is not going there. And this is even more relevant for the terrains like Northeast, right? And we have examples where wet waste is almost not collected in India. Second, food for thought. Third, he mentioned about IEC, behavior change, right? And often a word is used with behavior change is investment. So it is not termed as expenditure because two are very different words. So my question to you is, think about why IEC is an investment. I have an answer, but I'm not giving it to you right away. Okay? I'll just give a cue. You might have heard about the bio-CNG plant that Indore has, right? So Indore brings 550 tons of segregated organic waste, and they process it to make 17 tons of bio-CNG or CNG, because it's technically known as CBG. CNG links with the fossil fuel, right? Now, what is the value of 1 kilo of CNG in the market? 85, 90 rupees a kilo. So 550 ton of waste produces resource, which is equivalent to 17,000 multiplied by 85 or 90, whatever. If you have a calculator, you do the math. Now, I leave the discretion with all of you to decide whether credit should go to the technology, which is producing such a huge amount of revenue per day, or the credit should be attributed to the people of Indore who are segregating the waste at source, or the municipal corporation of Indore. The last point is the value. We often say that waste is not waste, but waste is not waste only when it is treated and processed. If you go by the law book, SWM Rule 2016 says that only the fractions that cannot be treated or processed, for which the technology is yet to be invented, should go to the landfill. What is that percentage? We all know. We often term it as inerts. The percentage of inert in the waste stream is how much? Max 20%, which means that we have technologies and resources for the remaining 80%. And then landfill is still being seen as the easiest possible solution, right? So MNRE is currently processing, they use the word under pipeline. So they have more than 200 applications for waste to energy plants under pipeline. It's the most horrible thing that you can possibly imagine in a country like us. We are not Europe. Europe needs a lot of heating, right? So they burn a lot of plastic to produce, to arrange for the heating. There's not a single success story in India where waste to energy is, I'm not getting into the technological detail, but when you are sending your waste, energy is being produced, it is being said there is subsidy by the government to sell that energy at a relatively lower cost, relatively higher cost than the other sources of energy which is available, like the renewable energy, like solar or hydel. So these are there. So then why the cities are so inclined to have a waste to energy plant? Because they're not looking at waste to energy as a solution. They want to get rid of their waste. Right? We have initiated a study because we have had tremendous difficulty even to get access to a plant. Okay. Because the plant gets the waste at their disposal. Who pays for it? The city. The city pays for the collection, transportation, and everything. The plant gets the mixed waste. I have been part of a very pathetic meeting in Jaipur Municipal Corporation where, I accidentally ended up having been there, where a seller of the technology told that आपको कुछ सोचना ही, आप जितना भी mixed कचरा है लेके आ जाओ. Right? And the commissioner was in cloud 9. He was so happy that, okay, I cracked the joke. I'm cracked the solution. Right? So when you choose the technology, please be very careful, because waste management is very, very unsustainable, and with time it is being even more unsustainable. So I thought, like, before Assam kicks in, I would give you this food for thought. I have, sorry?
Total population, if you sum of the all eight capitals of eight northeast, and in the population,
Right.
so secondly, in one concentrated area, we are getting lot of food over here, and it is very difficult in northeast. The hamlets are located far out. It is not visible.
Let me clarify, sir. My point was on segregation, not on Indore, which I mentioned in my thing. So it is my point is that if 80% of your waste can be processed or treated, then you need not plan for a roadmap to have more landfills in your vicinity. That is the point that I was trying to make. I can pretty much understand that what Indore has created can be created by a city of its size, right? So that is absolutely accepted. Your point is spot on. I'm not saying that bio-CNG, biomethanation in high altitude area is a difficult thing anyway. Right. So think about these points. We have few sessions to address some of the points, but I'd be curious to hear from you. Because when I was listening to these presentations, I was thinking like, what can we do? What can be done? And I don't want to be sounding prescriptive here. I don't have solutions. I don't have a magic wand in my hand. And even if I have, it will eventually depend on the political and administrative masters in your state. So I'm helpless. Our job is to show the picture. Now, it's for them to decide whether they want to see the picture that I want to show. Right? So let me stop here. Sir? Indore, yeah, for the seventh time. Yeah. But Indore pumps in a lot of money as well. So if you ask me whether Indore should be a model that I should be suggesting to everyone, it's a straight no. Indore has 700 vehicles, sir. Just 700 vehicles for collection. Huh? I don't know whether Northeast, all the 7-8 states put together would be having that many number of vehicles. Yeah.
This is the
Yeah, first of all, I'll thanks to Atim and CSC team for giving us opportunity to be here and to present. The last moment, yesterday evening, it was decided that I have to be part of this conclave. So I don't prepare any presentations, but I will share what we have in our mind, looking at the state level, how we have to go ahead with the solid waste management in Assam. As you all know, the Assam is the largest state in Northeast, and it is having around 35 lakhs population, urban population, and total it is a 14% of the total Assam population is the urban populations. We have around 106 cities, but under the Swachh Bharat Mission, we have only 96 cities. So the 8 new cities which is formed yet to be involved or included into the Swachh Bharat mission. So whatever the information, the data we have for the 96 cities. But I'll go with the data in the morning session, which was presented. I agree with what the Atim has said. There is a lot of differences between the data which is fed into the Swastham portal and which is inspected by the third party during the valuation under the Swachh Sarvekshan. But why it is? My understanding, because I have experience of 20 years in this sector, I have worked in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and presently I'm working in Assam. Assam is a new subject for me because I'm here from the last 8 months. But in this 8 months, I have visited more than 20 cities and all the big cities of Assam, and I have witnessed a lot of issues in the field. The first of all, the issues is the data is not wrong, which is fed by the department or fed by the officials. Only thing is that on ground, we don't have any proper documentation of the data. If you say that you are generating 10 tons of waste per day, we don't have any data to prove that. Yes, it is a 10 tons daily, it is generated. Neither we have a daily record, nor we have monthly and annual record. And that is the basic reason that why we are failed in service level progress under the Swachh Sarvekshan, and there is a variation in the data. That is the first point, which is the submitted. So what we have to do? We have to enhance our system of data record keeping, monitoring, and regularly updation of the data on timely basis. Second important thing which I have learned, because so far, if I compare with the rest of the country, the Northeast region are very lagging behind in solid waste management. We all are in the first step, basic step, where we have not even achieved 100% door-to-door collection. I'm not wrong to saying that in the many cities, we have alternate day waste collection system, though even we have reported it is a daily waste collection system. Second thing, segregation, absolutely zero. Because we don't have adequate infrastructure itself. So unless until you have an infrastructure, we have a partitions in your vehicles, major 2 and 2 more for the domestic hazardous waste and for the sanitary waste. Unless until you have that system introduced in your daily plan, it is very difficult to get marks in Swachh Sarvekshan. So that is the point. Third point is that though we all are dependent on the funding from the government of India under the Swachh Bharat mission, especially for the solid waste management. And in this context, we have a phase manner funding. So we have received a first installment and second installment. And in phase manner, we are preparing our DPRs for waste processing units in all 96 cities. In first phase, we have completed 43. And the second phase, we are going to propose for the 53. So it will take a time. It may take a year to come with all the waste processing units in our cities. And unless until we have that, we are not going to achieve this. Even though our data says we have a 40% waste processing, but in reality, we have only a 10%. And that 10% is also only the backyard composting, which the households are doing their own. But it's the bigger program, bigger plant we don't have. So we have to work on that. Third important thing which I would like to here discuss, when I went to the cities and I interacted with the people, I interacted with the different stakeholders, I found that there is a lack of understanding. People, even they don't know what is the green bag and what is the blue bins. Why we need a different type of categories of waste bins and partition in vehicles. People are unaware about that. Really, there is a need to have a proper segregation system. What I have learned in the practice, by looking to the cities where I have visited in the last 8 months, the people, especially those that are having a space in their backyard, they are doing some sort of composting. Home composting, backyard composting. But what they do with the dry waste, they accumulate, and every week or twice in a month, they burn it. So the waste automatically, it is not coming out. And that is the reason that we fail to collect the waste from the every households. So unless until we'll boost the IC awareness campaigns, and it is not with the posters and pamphlets, no, not at all. We have to target each individual households by interpersonal communications. We have to go to each house. We have to spend time. We have to sit with them. And for that, we need manpower. We need a team. And for what type of team? We need a dedicated team. Those are willing to voluntarily or on the paid basis. They must have to ensure that whatever the area or the ward assigned to them, they are going to do that. Unless until we have this practice, we are not going to achieve our whatever that we have set goals. Third important thing which I would like to share here is, recently we have introduced our Assam Urban Administrative Service. New young chaps, they have come through the APSC competitive exams, and now they have become executive officers. Fully dedicated for 24/7 for urban areas. Now they are going to be head the urban local bodies, the municipal boards. This was not happened before. Last month, in the month of March, they have joined on 1st March. From 1st March to 24th March, we have conducted a training for them for 3 weeks. We designed the training, and in that training, 4 exclusive days we kept only for solid waste management. Because we know in the municipal services, we have the other services also, But we have addressed this for 4 days continuously, starting from morning 6 o'clock to evening 12 o'clock the night sweeping. Why? Just to give them an exposure that what type of service and what the thing is they are going to deal whenever going to their respective cities. And in that, we also given them opportunity to go to the study tour in the 3 different places. One is the Indore, Ahmedabad, and Pune. And the total, they are 96. We have divided into 3 groups, 32 each. They have visited to Indore, Ahmedabad, and Surat to learn what the other cities are doing and where we are, and this gap, how we are going to fill it. So this is the process that we have started in our Assam. And I hope that due to this, we will be confident that in future, next 6 months and 1 year, definitely you will see the differences and visibly change in our cities of Assam. Apart from that, we also have introduced a new program that is called Do Shahar and Ek Rupayan. It means 10 cities with a similar formality. And this is going to be monitored by the Honorable Urban Minister in monthly basis. We are going to focus taking the 10 big cities of the Assam, where we are going to put 100 crore rupees for 3 years. And in that major focus on the solid waste management, where we want to achieve 100% door-to-door collection, at least 50% source segregation and cleanliness in our cities. And this is the achievement which we wanted to become in the next 2-3 years. And this is the way I am fully confident with my team, with our implementer partners, that we are going to achieve this in our state. Though today it is not visually changed, but I hope that in coming years, definitely we are going to see these all changes. So this positive note, with this, I am going to close my presentation. I request you, Jyoti, to just give the presentation.
I'll just quickly wrap up. I'll not take much time. So this data already sir has highlighted. This 2023 Swachh Sarvekshan, we have received 3 city level award within the Assam, Nagaon, Bongaigaon, and Golaghat for Clean City award. And that is like, actually these cities are new, and also like previously we have received award, but sustainability is quite, it's been challenging for us. But although new ULBs are coming out and they're putting lots of effort to make their city clean. And these are the few challenges sir has already highlighted. I just wanted to show the photographs. See, that is the green bin, but he is the sanitation worker. He is like putting all the waste into the blue. So these are the challenges, real challenges. Like they don't know what is segregation, what is blue, and what is green bin. So we are actually identifying these problems, and we are trying to build the capacity of these sanitation workers so that they can at least persuade the correct message to the households. If they are not aware, then how they are going to talk to the beneficiaries. Secondly, these are the vehicles, some of the ULBs, like we do not have. Okay, so there are some vehicles in our ULBs. So they have like vehicle without partition. So if, although we are promoting people, please do segregate your waste. And if we are mixing all this waste in front of them, why they will segregate waste? So they think if we all also like segregate waste, then ULB people always come and they collect in a similar way. So they think it's just useless. So we, first of all, we need to enhance our infrastructure. So there are initiatives in Assam. Now Assam has launched most outstanding district, that is called Modi initiatives, and the best ULB will receive the 100 crore rupees. So now ULBs are like trying their best to retrofit their vehicles, to do from their best to operate their plants, whatever it is dysfunctional. So these are the real challenges we want to showcase. So these are the bags you will be able to see in the city, how they are collecting the waste. So, and there is another challenge in Assam. So mostly in Assam, there are 3 models. We are engaging people to collect the door-to-door waste. One is NGO-based model, one is private farms, and one is SHG women's. They are collecting door-to-door waste, and municipality is providing all these responsibilities. But the main challenge comes, they always collect waste from where they get the user fees. They don't go to the places where they don't get any user fees. So that is the main issue we are facing currently. And this is becoming very profit-driven and money-driven. And also they do not have proper data, how much waste they are collecting and how much user fees they are collecting currently. So that is one of the big challenges. We are trying to build the capacity of these organizations so that we can get the effective data so that we can plan better. So next, some sir has rightly pointed out, technology will not work if we do not have proper knowledge. That is the organic waste converter. You will be able to see in the left side, and that is for wet waste. And most of the city has this facility to compost, to prepare compost. But the main problem is maximum of the ULB, you will be able to see it's dysfunctional. Because of this is, once you start this OWC, organic waste converter, electricity bill comes in 1 lakhs. So how ULB will pay all this? How, if we are not generating revenue, enough revenue from the ULB, how ULB will provide 1 lakh electricity bill? So we need very context specific solution. Many people has, speakers has rightly pointed out, we need local driven solutions so that we can at least for Northeast, at least we can reduce our waste and so that we can enhance our solid waste management value chain. So the dump sites, you can be able to see there is no gate, there is no I think, yeah, there is no one. It's just a dump site. Animal and man, anyone can has directly access. You'll be able to find in some of the ULBs biomedical waste also. Yes, these are the challenges, but we are working on it. And these currently we are focusing on the 5 parameters of Assam. That is system reforms, how we are going to change the system. So sir has pointed out that we have hired recently Assam government under Assam Public Service Commission 96 executive officers. They will be looking after entire ULB. So we are going to implement very context specific policy for Assam. And we have prepared lots of guidelines, advisories, so that we can enhance our solid waste management value chain for Assam. And secondly, training, capacity building. So although we are saying our ULBs, please do this, do that, ministry is asking, but the main problem is most of the ULBs, they do not know what is SBM 2.0, what are the objectives. So we are trying to build their capacities. We are making them aware how to do door-to-door collection, what is segregation, how to manage the data, how to do proper documentation. So all these, most of the cities we have completed recently, the trainings, and our department. Now department is also, the Housing and Urban Affairs is also mainstreaming the solid waste management. So it is becoming very helpful for us also to push the agenda. So next is planning and design for community-based organizations. So we are trying to collaborate with NULM, National Urban Livelihood Missions, to engage more SHG so that they can get also livelihood opportunities through solid waste management. So information, education, communication, that is one of the important aspects we have to do to change the people mindset. So we have developed context-specific IEC communication, IEC plan for cities, so that they can do it is a very step-by-step IEC plan, when to conduct, how to conduct, what to deliver during the meeting. So we are providing everything to them so that it will be very easy for the ULBs to spread out the messages. Monitoring and hand-holding support before, it is quite actually the monitoring system we need to enhance. And Assam, we are conducting now. It's been when I have joined SBM, we have seen how things are being monitored, and we have initiated lots of new initiative like Mission 10. That is we will be focusing 10 ULBs for next 3 years continuously, and we are we are planning to transform their landscape of solid waste management and as well as other municipal service also. So monitoring is becoming very tough for Assam, and we are trying to develop the good monitoring mechanism so that we get to know from the state how ULBs are actually functioning. This is Guwahati. I'll just keep it. So would you like to? So these are the plans
this is the plan for Bongaigaon city that has recently awarded for Swachh Sarvekshan. So we have like 5 strategies, 19 actions. Basically, we are saying ULB is like how many waste generators you have. First of all, you have to identify that. Most of the ULB do not have idea like how many exactly households they have in their ward, in their city. So we are telling them to do survey to identify the gaps so that they can at least prepare context-specific solid waste management plan. And I am not going to say one by one. So if you need any help, we can help you out. After implementing this plan in the ULBs, we have seen lots of changes. And ULBs are like enhancing their capacity as well as they are reporting properly. And we have seen like how the vehicle collection transportation has been improved. So this is the like glimpse of Assam. And we are hoping new cadre is also deputed now in Assam. Hope we will be achieve more good results and we'll be achieving more awards for Assam. Thanks.
There is a smart city challenge. Yeah. Just 1 minute. Just
Mic hai yahan.
because we skipped, so I want to. So in this, total 84 smart cities have applied. Out of 84, 43 were shortlisted and 18 were selected across the country. And Guwahati is one of that, which has got this award. 130.5 crores they are going to get under this program to augment their solid waste management systems. And we were there to support the Guwahati Municipal Corporations to get this proposal achieved. That's it.
So, So we are just now it's 3:45. We are supposed to have a tea break, but we are remaining with 2 more presentations from Assam. So we would invite one only.
No, I'll just because it has a very big. We can.
So after this presentation, I would like to request Green Ovo Solution. So you can come and present your case study as well.
Sorry, we can invite any questions this time.
Yeah. Since the time is now problem. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, standing in front of you, I'm Mr. R.K. Bhattakur. I'm one of the director of Green Ovo Eco Solution. With me, Executive Director Ankur Bhattakur is here. Unfortunately, today, my technical director, Mr. Subi San, who is now busy in the commissioning a waste-to-energy project in Bongaigaon.
Right.
And then he couldn't join it. Well, basically, we will not make any long speech. I'd like to hand over my session to Ankur, and he will give an idea of what we are practically doing in tackling these problems. Maybe some of you will be very helpful, especially in Arunachal, I have seen, and other states. And after that, because we'll be here for next 2 days, any questions will be ready to answer. In fact, my technical director will also join us. So let us be very fast. Ankur, please present. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. So we are from Green Ovo Eco Solutions. So we are focusing on the processing of providing solutions to waste treatment, as well as firm believers of moving from a linear economy to a circular economy. So I'd like to be as fast as possible. Would like to skip something. So we have been founded 8 years ago. So we are working in Bihar, parts of North Bengal, and also in Assam. So we are trying to cover the entire spectrum of solid waste management, including the creation of a circular economy in terms of training, awareness, segregation at source. We are imparting training to people as well, adopting a proper way of collection, waste treatment, which we are specifically going to focus on today as the scope of this presentation. And we are striving for zero waste. I know it's a very idealistic concept, but we are striving for zero waste. So the project which we are going to discuss today is the generation of steam from solid waste for boiler of NF Railway
in steam in a junction of NF Railway called KYQ, that is the Kamakha junction. So over there, we are actually accumulating municipal solid waste, which cannot be recycled. Basically, it has been segregated by the members of NF Railway segregation team, and it is being provided to us at a place which is next to the laundry facility of NF Railway. So in that, they were using HSD for the boilers in order to generate steam. However, after the installation and operation of our system, the consumption of HSD has reduced by more than 50%, thereby leading to a lot of savings. That means the waste which was segregated and provided to us using our incineration technology, we have been able to generate heat from that, resulting in this conversion of that waste into fuel. So the collection sources are from Guwahati station, Kamakha station, as well as from the Maligaon railway colony. So this particular plant is getting operated 8 hours daily. So we are using a technology called concentrated oxygen circulation technology, where incineration occurs in 2 chambers at a temperature of more than 950 degrees Celsius. So we are processing about 150 kgs of segregated waste per hour, almost amounting to 1.2 tons of waste processed daily. We have almost no residue resultant of this fantastic technology. And the only residue which we get is fly ash, which can be used for manufacturing purposes for pavement blocks and bricks, which can be used in the construction industry. So conversion, this is basically a very good example of conversion of calorific value of solid waste to energy. Energy in the sense, preheated water, which is being used for laundry purposes. This particular technology is having high quality thermal insulation. It also has the advantage of having less technical manpower involved. That means for operation and maintenance, the education or the technical ability of the manpower involved need not be very high. Therefore, it has a lot of benefits in terms of the versatility and also the applications. Further, it has multi-layer protection for the control of air pollution, and it also has an all-weather processing capability. So we have operated it just after the COVID unlock phase happened. It started just after the COVID unlock phase, and then we have processed garbage on a daily basis, even during the rainy season. So it is also under the operational model of BOOM, which we refer to as build, own, operate, maintain, wherein we have been given an initial capex from the NF Railway to construct the infrastructure, and we are also getting a monthly remuneration for the processing of the waste from the NF Railway itself. So based on the success of this model, there have been another future installations also in the new Bongaigaon station, which is operating successfully since 2023. So the benefits are basically it has no hazardous gas emissions. All the emissions which are effluents which are getting emitted are within the prescribed limits of the Pollution Control Board. It also helps to avoid localized legacy waste accumulation, as this is an epitome of decentralized way of managing waste. It helps in the localized legacy waste accumulation by avoiding it completely to a great extent. The transportation and operation cost is much less, as we can have a certain area being covered by such small units. And it also requires a lot of lesser space, because I can understand a common thing which we have seen since morning is that most of the ULBs complain for the lack of space. I think this can be a very good solution, considering that this requires very less space. And this also gives you heat as a resultant energy, which can be used for a lot of other purposes in a variety of industries, as well as hotels, as well as other food processing units. Because as we have seen representatives from Meghalaya, as well as from other destinations which have a lot of hotel industry, hotels there, they can use it in processing their dry and wet waste to a great extent. Because in all the hotels, hot water is very much required, and they are burning fossil fuels in order to get that hot water generated. So this can be a very good solution, wherein they can actually go ahead and convert that waste into fuel. Further, this has a unique advantage of incinerating wet waste as well. So not in 100%, it cannot be 100% technically, but in a ratio of 40:60. If it is less than that, if the wet waste is say 30% or 20%, that's even better, but it can go up to the ratio of 40:60. So basically, it's facilitating the decentralized processing of waste to foster a circular economy. It is low capital intensive, low maintenance. It also has a profit which gets generated in the form of fuel. And its usage has been found to be very much prevalent in the laundry of the NF Railway. They have also used it for cleaning and washing purposes of their coaches in the New Bongaigaon Junction. So feedback from the customer, which was published in the Assam Tribune on the 20th of June, wherein the NF's Chief Public Relations Officer has mentioned that the use of HSD, if you can, I'm not sure if this is visible, but it's almost in the financial year 2021 to 2022, almost 14,000 liters of HSD has been saved because they have used waste as a fuel. Further, they have also saved the use of moya oil to the tune of 6,400 liters. That has resulted in a total saving of more than 8,28,000 per annum. So this is a very good example of how waste is actually generating a revenue for a particular industry, in our case, the NF Railway. Further, the segregated organic waste, which has been provided to us, which gets provided to us from the railways, three collection sources, as mentioned earlier, we are feeding it to a biogas generator plant in the central hospital of NFR Maligaon. So there we are processing 100 kgs of organic waste daily, and through which biogas is getting generated, from where we can have 1.5 hours of biogas, which is used for the cooking purposes. So in a span of every 2 months, we also have a semi-liquid compost, which is used for the gardening activities of the hospital itself and other areas of the NF Railway premises. This has also been running successfully since 2021. Certain photographs of this installation, wherein in order to get the heat generated in the biogas plant, we have also installed solar water heaters. So we are trying to go as much as possible with the use of renewable energy. So we have also integrated a solar water heater in this particular plant. However, having said that, that is not the best solution, because with time, technology is changing. And we have also collaborated with AMER. That's an organization which has the rights to distribute the technology developed in Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. So that technology is ABBR. So through which that technology can be used for the generation of cooking as well as power. Basically biogas, it generates biogas, which can be used for cooking as well as for the generation of power. So this can be customized as per the requirement of the various conditions in which it can find its usage. So this is something which is upcoming. It has been already tested, and we are very much looking forward to its implementation in various industries. Further, some of the challenges which we have encountered, first and foremost, as it is very much the prevalent tone in this discussion, segregation at source is of utmost importance, which is not at all happening. And in certain government tenders earlier, I'm not referring to the recent ones, I'm saying since the last, say around 1 year ago, when we last tried to participate in a government tender, the MRF facilities do not have enough employment scope of adequate manpower as per the tender documents, because they do have a lot of waste which needs to be processed, but the adequate manpower for dealing with such waste at times is found to be lacking. So maybe due to the lack of budget, or maybe due to the lack of practical understanding of the same, I would not like to comment. But now, of late, we have seen that this has been to a great extent corrected, and that is a good development. Further, as Mr. Biswas sir has mentioned, that a lot of inner materials are found in the MRF centers, which cannot be recycled, because the technology has not yet reached its pace of getting them recycled or used in a beneficial way. That's why that leads to the packaging and food beverage plastics, which actually cannot be recycled. So those are some challenges. And landfills are also not the solution, as rightly pointed out. In the northeastern states, the groundwater level is very much higher as compared to the rest of India. And further, the emission of hazardous gases and the resultant pollution from landfills can also create an environmental hazard. Another challenge that we face is that the calorific value of the municipal solid waste is not always consistent. Sometimes we do have to use biofuels, which are mandated by the MSW handling laws of 2015, like LDO and diesel at times, just to get a certain temperature. But that is also very minimal. But that happens usually during the rainy season, when we cannot have enough heat generation from the bio waste. So some of the solutions and the recommendations from our end, based on what we have seen: segregation at source, which is of utmost importance. And we can have MRFs, but along with MRFs, we can have waste to energy plants in a decentralized way, which has been completed successfully in various parts of the Northeast using biofuels and MSW. We are about to complete another project like that in Kalimpong, which is part of North Bengal. It is running successfully in New Bongaigaon Junction as well as in Kamakha. So we have every reason to believe that this technology is a success and is one for the future. So we would also like to encourage the government for the installation of biogas units, which can be used in a variety of industries. Okay. So I'm sure sir would like to add on to that. My information may not be 100% correct with regard to that, sir. So that is something which we can do. And as we have mentioned, we have technology right now which can generate almost 1,200 units of power from 5 tons of biogas. So biogas not just can be used for heating, it can also be used for power generation. Further, in places where there is more than 2 tons of plastics generated, we can have the pyrolysis plant where we can use those plastics for the production of furnace oil. So we have done it in a similar pyrolysis plant has been installed in Motihari, Bihar in 2018. So the furnace oil generated there is still sold at a rate of 50 to 55 rupees per liter, which has a profit margin of more than 100%. So based on that, the NHAI contractors use that furnace oil for the heating up of bitumen. And this is our ideal solution, which we would like to go for. May not be possible in all cases. We would like to install, supply, maintain, as well as operate so that we can achieve zero waste to a great extent. So some of the photographs over here of the pyrolysis plant, which is there in Motihari, Bihar, some of our clientele. And we would like to end with some things which really I feel we can all agree to. One, to change a few to change many, many to change the world. It all starts with one. And further, something which Dr. Sunita Narayan said today itself, we cannot even waste waste. We must make waste a resource. So thank you so much for your valuable time.
He is already there outside. So any question for him?
Yes, please. Yeah.
I think you need a mic.
I mean, executing projects 3 years.
Yeah, close to that, around 5 years.
Yeah. So you're having maximum contracts with NFR only.
Yes.
So, I mean, so in these 3-4 years,
Yes.
any other PSUs or any corporates, you haven't taken any
Yes.
projects?
Sure. I'd like to tell you why.
And second part is,
Yes.
You're doing it waste to energy.
Yes.
Okay, like, have you got a break even? I mean, as far as the PSU is concerned, NFR is concerned, what have they invested in a capital form? Okay. And the output, the laundry thing, like doing ironing and all. Do they have the, break even that they are not losing out anything?
Yeah, it is. We can say that the break even, if you just look at the figures, which we have mentioned over here, if I can just go back to this presentation, kindly hold on, please. So if they are saying that in one particular financial year, I'll just like to move on to this slide. Just bear with me. Okay, so they're saying that the use of HSD has reduced from 14,000 liters to 0. So 14,000 liters of HSD, which was the prevalent in 2019-20, And in the financial year 2021, that 14,000 liters per annum has become zero. So I'm sure they are saving a lot on that 14,000 liters saved. So if you can just multiply 14,000 into 100, that'll be close to 14 lakhs per annum. See, I'm not saying that it will be 100, but industrial diesel should be 105 or 106 rupees in Guwahati. I'm not sure whether they're using industrial diesel or not. So that is one part of the entire entire ecosystem where they're saving a lot of money, number one. Number two, they're also saving on the cost of moya oil. That is close to 6,460 liters, which is now absolute zero now. They're not using any moya oil now. So that is where a lot of savings are also getting accumulated. Further, I would like to add that before this solid waste was incinerated, they had to transport it to the municipal landfills and municipal landfills or dumping grounds. Landfills, let's say landfills. So that is where a lot of cost was incurred by them, and they had to also pay the municipality board. So that was a huge cost. So based on that, I'm sure within a span of 3 to 4 years, if not already, they must have broken even, and they are now probably in the profit stage. Yes.
So actually, fair products, Delhi or India, tying up with some waste firm, making some composting thing, or in the management of waste energy plant. So the process in investment, that even this airport. So like before giving us some kind of a endorsement or thing to go in for in other northern states.
One more thing, see, the nature of the project, I welcome this skepticism. I really welcome this because this has been the. Yeah, I would like to answer to you later on. So.
Is kind of weird.
Yeah, so another thing is that since most of us are from the Northeast over here, and you'll be going back possibly through Guwahati itself, please come and kindly visit the site. It is just at a distance of 8 kilometers from the airport. We could arrange for your visit over there if required. So seeing is believing. Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. So anyways, that'll be there.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
So can we cut short the tea break for 5 minutes, like instead of 15, can we make it 10 minutes? Then we can finish a bit early. It's very pleasant in the evening, so we can have some time in the evening as well. So we'll come back at, I think 4:17 p.m. So it's 4:07.
The next one will make me see the open speaking change कौन है नागालैंड की टीम में है कौन पोजीशन कंट्रोल बोल रहा है
देखो एजेंडा देखिए नागालैंड से कौन नागालैंड या प्लीज कम नागालैंड एक हो जाए नागालैंड हाँ इंट्रोड्यूस कराओ
So other one is not working, is it? Acha, no, it's working. Working, okay. Hello, everyone. Now just settle down. So we have another presentation from the Nagaland state. So it has been actually represented by Nagaland Pollution Control Board. So we have with us Yanathan, which is a scientist in the Nagaland Pollution Control Board. So I have here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be talking about the scenario of the waste management with respect to Nagaland State. I'll be projecting the reports. The data which I'm projecting right now is the report which is submitted by the urban local bodies. We have 39 ULBs in the state of Nagaland. So we have a area of 16,000 square kilometers. The population, we have around 19 lakhs population. And the total waste generation as per the ULB is we have around 301.4 tons per day. And the waste collection is around 250 tons per day. And the total waste process is around 83.2 tons per day. So the number of dump sites in our state is around 38 dump sites as of now. And the number of dump sites in which bioremediation was done, we have only one dump site, which is they are on the process of bioremediation. And even in the case of biomining, one was initiated, but it is not operational as of non-functional as of now. And we have 11 material recovery facility in the district headquarters. So looking at the scenario, as I mentioned earlier, we have 39 ULBs. Out of the 39 ULBs, we have 3 municipal council and 36 town councils. And out of the 39 ULBs, we have only one scientific treatment facility at Kohima, that is the capital, which has a capacity of 50 tons per day capacity. And along with this facility, even the plastic recycling facility is also attached with this. And the rest of the ULBs we are just dumping the waste on the open dumping site. And in the case of rural areas, we don't have any collection system as of now, and we don't have any data with respect to the rural areas. We have around 1,355 villages in the state. However, we don't have any data on the waste management in the case of the rural areas. So the current challenges which we have in the case of waste collection, door-to-door collection, as per the ULB report, there is out of the 39 ULBs, 30 ULBs have mentioned that they are doing door-to-door collection. But even in spite of the report which they have submitted, door-to-door collection is not being implemented in all the wards. They might be implementing in some of the wards, but I would say door-to-door collection is not happening much in the ground reality. But looking into the scenario, the topography of our state, we have a hilly terrain. Only Dimapur district is in the plain area. The rest of the ULBs and the rest of the areas are in the hilly terrain. So what is happening is most of the thing is not door-to-door collection, but point-to-point source of collection is being carried out in most of the ULBs. So out of the 39 ULBs, as Kohima Municipal Council, which is the capital, which is located in the capital, only Kohima Municipal Council has a separate vehicle for collecting the waste, where the covered vehicle, which you have a compartment of wet and dry waste. However, the other municipal councils, they don't have any facility of where they have a compartmental vehicle. Just going back, regarding this one scientific treatment plan which we have in Kohima, however, we have the scientific landfill site in Kohima, but it's been non-operational for more than 5 years now. So it's in a non-operation state as of now. So the processing and disposal challenges, all the municipal councils, they collect the waste, but as I mentioned earlier, they are just dumping the waste in the dumping site. And as I mentioned earlier, the landfill site which we have in Kohima, we have the landfill site, but it's in non-operational as of now. And the processing, regarding the processing, Dimapur Municipal Council, which is, I would say, one of the largest municipal council, they are the ones who is doing the bioremediation as of now. So with respect to infrastructure, as I mentioned earlier, we have the 11 district headquarters which are given the material recovery facility. And however, in the rest of the ULBs with inadequate machineries and vehicles. The current challenges faced by, I would say, most of the all the ULBs, insufficient manpower and resources. What is happening is most of the ULBs, they don't have any staff. So at present, what is happening is the administrative staff who is under the additional deputy commissioner, their staffs are doing the reporting of the any solid waste management reports, or I think even in the case of SBM reporting also, these are the ones who are doing that. So scarcity of fund, poor infrastructure for solid waste management, no infrastructure as of now. Recommendation for improvement, manpower has to be there for any aspect. If there's no manpower, then definitely they cannot do much on the ground. And capacity building is one thing where we would like to emphasize for all the ULBs. Most of the ULBs, apart from the layman, even the ULB staff, they are not aware. I would feel they are not aware much about what is happening on the ground. And as the earlier presenters have mentioned regarding the awareness campaign thing also, most of the people, I would say, on the ground, they are not sure on what is wet waste and dry waste still now. So wet, they think that whatever is wet, and what is dry. That is the only thing which they think as of now also. But that is this is something where awareness is very important for the general public. And in our case, in the state of Nagaland, community participation is good. So if proper awareness and proper guidance is given, definitely they will also come into the waste management aspect. So the sense of ownership has to be there. My waste, my responsibility, as mentioned earlier by the earlier presenters. Also, importance of segregation at source is very important. In our state, like the rest of the other states, we have piggery is one of the area where the food waste is being used. So even in the NGT hearing, in the last hearing of the 606, they have mentioned for the state of Nagaland, you can go for the option of piggery for the wet waste. So even this extended producer responsibility has to be implemented. Extended producer responsibility is there on the paper, but nothing is happening much on the ground. Even in the case of plastic waste, we are getting so many reports from so many PIBOs where they are mentioning that they are collecting the plastic waste from our cities, but that is not happening. That is only on the paper. So when we ask them from where they are collecting the waste, before they do the collection, kindly let us know. But after that, no information from their side. So extended producer responsibility has to be done on the ground. With respect to solid waste management, even in our case in the state of Nagaland, I would say nothing much is happening. But I would say a big boost from the NGT. After the NGT has come into the picture, now the state government is also giving the importance of solid waste. So we are still in the infant stage, I would say, but we are moving forward. Dimapur Municipal Council, I've been told that there's a few firms who are interested to work on the ground. So they're on the pipeline on the negotiation of the MOU also. And even the case of Kohima, the landfill site, we are very hopeful that they will start operation very soon. So thank you so much. Any questions?
So, it's okay. So as we were discussing there that even in this conclave, we don't see any representation of Nagaland for whatever reason. So you being the member of SPCB, we know that SPCB has the responsibility to monitor the proper execution of service management. So and also my question is that how you are coordinating with the other community in the state, and whether you are You are monitoring it regularly, how you are, fulfilling your responsibilities, and whether you are eligible to penalize or any other steps. As you said, the situation is not so good. So in that regard, what role being SPCB you are facing, you're doing, and are you facing any challenges in that?
Yeah, definitely. This is an area where SPCB comes to the picture. I think we have to do the regulation of the solid waste management rules also. But I would say one thing which our Nagaland Pollution Control Board, we are based in Dimapur. So we just recently, just 2 weeks back, we have started the ground-to-ground inspection of all the ULBs. So we are inspecting all the ULBs, looking into the dumping site, where the dumping site is, and what are they doing with the waste. But we have a series of meetings with the Chief Secretary along with the UDDs regarding the waste management, what they have to do on the ground. But as I mentioned earlier, nothing is happening on the ground. So even to penalize, it has become, yeah, it has become quite a difficult task, I would say, because as per the NGT order, they have mentioned that ULB, if a ULB doesn't have any facility of composting or MRF or this biomethanation, then you have to penalize, I think, 1 lakh rupees per day. But if you have to do that, the whole ULB 39 ULBs has to be penalized. So I would say on the ground, it's very different. And for whatever reason, we are not sure, but 39 ULBs were created. Some of the ULBs, their population is around 800 only. So I would say they should not have been in the case of ULB. They should not be a town council also. So even the population wise, some of the ULBs, the population is very less, 3,800, hardly 5,000. So they cannot generate their own revenue.
So what light of hope you can see in this regard what is there awaiting for Nagaland? What solution you can perceive?
Definitely now, after the NGT order, the government is taking it seriously now. So we are hopeful that they will do something regarding the waste management. Last year, we took the Dimapur Municipal Council and Kohima Municipal Council and our own staff, we went to Indore City to see what they do over there. So one good thing, takeaway which we have taken from the tour was Dimapur Municipal Council, after they came back, what they are doing now, they are on a pilot basis, they are on 2 wards, they are collecting segregated waste. So the government has given them.
So they are collecting and dumping?
Pardon?
They are collecting and then dumping?
Yes. But now it has become better. So what they are doing now, they have a compartment vehicle where they are collecting the wet waste and the dry waste separately. And the wet waste, what they are doing is they are trying to compost the wet waste. So this is something which we see as a good sign. And even in the case of Kohima, they have engaged some NGOs where they are going door to door teaching about the waste segregation. Because in spite of having the landfill site in Kohima, and I was told that this is one of the best facility in Northeast. But in spite of that, it's non-operational. So something wasteful of resources and not taking advantage of the resources which they have. But the KMC, Kohima Municipal Council, they are also trying their best to give an awareness to the general public, because they have stopped utilizing the facility because they were not getting the segregated waste. And the lifespan of the landfill site was 25 years. But the rate at which they were getting the waste, and if they have to dump the waste over there, then it would not have last 5 years also. So because of that, they have stopped operation of the landfill site.
Yeah, thank you very much. One thing I just finish it off, that we see this trend that everybody is being sent to Indore for exposure visit, but we forget that the geopolitical, geological and geographical situation, other thing are different. But one thing definitely what Atinda has also stressed that we need to learn from Indore is the level of community participation, level of awareness and sense of ownership, or the pride baggage the Indore people carry, that they are the champions. But they didn't become champion in one day. And as you said that since segregated waste is not coming, that's why processing processing facilities are not functioning. But I would say it's other way around, because for Indore also, for 1 year, they didn't talk about segregation of waste. They provided regular collection services, on time, regular, consistent collection services, which is very important. So me being a citizen would segregate only when I'll see that what is happening with my segregated waste. If I see that my segregated waste is being collected in a mixed manner and being dumped, then all my effort would go in vain, right? So it's both way both way should be functioned properly. Like, we will generate awareness for segregation of waste, but at the same time, as a city or as an administrator, I should also provide regular collection service, at the same time processing facilities. So both should work. In such situation, I think the decentralized waste management or community participation, community engagement in a very micro manner. For example, the village of Arunachal, you have shared. So there's a village, but that's a simple example. And I think in states like Nagaland, Arunachal, they have very religious or old customs and traditions of collaboration, collectiveness, cohesiveness. If awareness parallelly, this sort of thing can be encouraged or enhanced or augmented, then I think in small scale, if you can see that community is taking responsibilities and segregation is happening, composting, home composting, community composting is happening, and then maybe it will go to the other processing things. That, it could be a pilot for showcasing to other areas or other catchments. So for that, yeah,
Definitely.
anybody?
Well, I'm from Nagaland also. So this will be, some sort of an answer to you. When we're talking about how is Nagaland, doing things in order to help, me, from an NGO, what we are doing is that, we're doing the IEC program and all of that. And I have been a mouthpiece for, the government of Nagaland, for some time now. And we have been doing our own personal IEC and all of that. So this year, we have changed our approach, doing our IEC and all of that. So what we have done is that, we have started approaching local bodies, churches also. And yes, churches also. And, Nagaland, being a Christian state, about 70 to 80% is Christian. So what we have done is that, we are all working together towards that. All right. And we have approached them, and we have also approached schools and colleges also. That is what we're doing, because we believe in my waste, my responsibility. We have also added one more to that, which is a renewal of mind. So what we're doing is that we are going to schools, we are going to churches and all of that, and we're telling them about renewal of mind. Renew your mind, and then everything is possible. So that is what we're doing. And one thing that we have found was that this people, this institution, they are willing to participate. But this is their concern. They want to participate, and this was also something that they wanted the local bodies, the ULB, to know also. Yes, there has to be some sort of responsibility from their side also, because they complain about where is the dustbin? Where is the dustbin? You show a little bit, you come to us halfway, and then we'll be, yes, and then we will come halfway. So yes, so it has to be both the ways. But we have not been seeing, we have not been seeing that kind of thing. The Nagaland pollution, they have also done their research on the waste that has been generated and all of that. They have also released the data about the types of, yes, annual reports on the type of waste that has been generated. Even for us also, we have done that kind of research also, and then we have specifically focused on the types of waste instead of numbers. In fact, let's see. Yes, we have identified 74 types of dry waste and 45 types of wet waste. And it was we found that most of those waste it consisted of sanitary waste, such as diaper and all of that. So those are the kind of ways that that we are facing, and then we need some kind of a some kind of help, either from the government, which we do not know, if it will come or not, no. And then, I think, there is some, some lack of communication with the NGOs or, with the government and all of that. And we are unable to do that. So those are the kind of things. And even when it comes to the dump site and all, we have, as mentioned, all the ULBs have dump site and all of that. However, the problem here is that, all the ULBs, they are looking for new ground so that, they can do it, they can take care of all the problems, systemically, scientifically, and all of that. However, like all the rest of the states, now the people are aware of, like, the problem that is being caused by the, by this kind of waste. So, they are not selling or they're not giving up land now. So we have to continue using the old landfills or, old dumping sites and all of that. So we are also faced with that kind of problem. So I am just adding it up, yeah. So I hope, I hope that answered some of your questions, and I may not have answered some of your questions also. So, if we can sit and talk, maybe we can also, like, come up with, yeah.
At the end of the day, I think we can come up with some roadmap for the office. That's why we have invited you all to get the information, the challenges of this. Thank you so much for being here. I think we can move ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. In addition to what he said, I'll just add one more point. State Pollution Control Board are regulating body. We are not the implementing agency to work on the ground.
Yes, we know.
But one thing, in the aspect of waste management, what we did in the last year, we did a 6-month study in Dimapur Municipal Council, where our staff were involved in the segregation process. So we took the assessment of all the vehicle, before the waste was taken in, after the waste was taken in, we did the segregation of the waste, and we have a festival known as Hornbill Festival. So yeah, it spans for 10 days. So even over there, we did a segregation of the waste for the whole 10 days. So why we wanted to do the segregation of the waste over there was because we as State Pollution Control Board, we emphasize on awareness campaign. So whenever we go for any awareness, one thing what we wanted to let the people know is, until unless you do the segregation at source, it becomes difficult to do on the dumping side. Because just to segregate around 1,500 kg with a manpower of 10 to 15%, it takes the whole day.
And it's also degraded the value of the dry waste if it
Yes.
is mixed.
So that's why we emphasize on the awareness issue also. And because awareness is very important, I think unless people mindset is changed, it becomes quite difficult to work on the waste management aspect.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You have a question. It's the last one we'll take, huh? If you are ready to continue until 6:30, it's fine. We can take questions. I mean, the house will decide.
Hi, since you are from the Pollution Control Board, in your presentation, this is not a question actually. I just wanted to, it's a part of a question which can help us also. It's very similar to us. In one of your presentation, one of your slide, you're saying that there's some ULB councils which they don't have staffs and all. So what is your way forward? What is your future plans to activate and to make them have a full form or full strength of staff and all as a pollution control board, which is I can say a monitoring body of the state?
Right now, what is happening is ULB election is not happening as of now in our state for more than it's been, I think, more than 10 years, must be. Yeah. So because of that, no funding has been given to any of the ULBs. So we are hopeful that this year the election will happen. So once the election happens, we are hopeful that they will get the budget for manpower also. So once they get the budget for the manpower, I feel that the ULBs will be able to work on the ground.
I think has
Scientific defense plan. I want to know what kind of scientific design is going on. What is the plan? Please tell me.
In Kohima.
Yeah.
Okay. they have the sanitary landfill also, and they have a biomining facility over there where they can do the biomining but they are not getting the segregated waste, so nothing is happening on the ground. Yeah, they have the leachate where they can do the leachate treatment also. So
yeah. So you have mentioned about brands availing the extended producer's responsibility in Nagaland, but that's mostly on paper. And when you ask them, there is no response from their end. So is there any, do you have the bandwidth to penalize them if they are not responding to your queries and they're just availing the, EPR on paper? So if you can share something on that.
I think quite get. Can you please?
Sure. So you have mentioned in Nagaland, the brands, they're availing APR on paper, but not actually on ground. So when you reach out to them, there's no response from their end. So because we know these are big brands and, you can maybe, I'm not sure if you can penalize them or is there any point of action if they're not, reporting back to you? I just want to understand on that.
With respect to this EPR, once we receive we have written to the CPCB also, because EPR, they get registered on the CPCB portal only. And as of now in the state, we don't have any manufacturer, no producer in our case. So everything is done through CPCB portal. So we have written to CPCB to kindly rectify whatever they are giving the report. Whenever they come for any report, they want us to acknowledge the report which they have submitted to us, but we never do that. So I don't know how they submit to the CPCB after that.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now we have another presentation from the state of Mizoram.
Yeah, I'll just hold it. Hello, everyone. I am Vil Trezwala. I'm specialist from UDNPA and okay. I'll just basically okay, sure. Mizoram, wait. Okay. The State Monitoring Committee of Solid Waste Management is headed by our Chief Secretary, who is Ms. Renu Sharma, and our State Level Advisory Board is headed by our Secretary, who is Pulalma Somapachsuwal. Okay, our waste generation current status is that 55% is non-biodegradable and 35% is non-biodegradable. And we have only around 10% inert. Collection waste generated by the town is collected through PP mode, where private trucks are hired. The expenditure is incurred from the amount collected from each of the household. Actually, door-to-door collection system is not practical in our state. We are following the sanitation point. We are collecting through sanitation point by bell ringing method. People arrive at the sanitation point and sweeping and waste collection is usually done in the early morning till noon. Transportation. The accumulated waste is manually loaded in garbage vehicle, and they are not using that PPE mode and our vehicle are usually open vehicle. Here is a statistic of our town waste generation, and currently we have 2 existing solid waste management center in Mizoram, Aizol and Colosseum, and both are functioning from 2019 and 21. And this one is ISO Solid Waste Management Center. And everything is functioning except that vermicompost, we change it to normal composting because vermicomposting is not practical in hilly area because of the weather fluctuation. And this one is again collective, and again vermicomposting is not practical, so we change it again to normal composting. And this is our ongoing SWMC construction. Huanggo actually the site clearance is completed and fencing is ongoing. Luang Mual DPR is under process. Lunglei site, 80% physical progress is completed and 20% is to be continued after this election. Same goes with Sampai. 60% is already finished and to be resumed after election. And Lunglei, that one is at Waste Resource Center. It's already finished and some minor work are to be resumed after election. Same goes with Sampai. Bioremediation of legacy waste. Actually, we have, as per that portal on the Swatch version 15, it was reported that 15 has been remediated, but actually it was 2, so we might have to check that portal again. People's participation. In Mizoram, people's participation in Mizoram is practically very important. One word that we usually use, it's called natlang. It's how will we say? It's community engagement where no fund is collected or either community just engage in that work. Tlom Ngaina, it's also self-participation. Public contribution. Actually, this one is done mainly through colleges, youth service, as well as student-wise. Current challenges. Everything is mostly same as with other state. Our current challenges are fund porosity, fund constraint. And typical door-to-door collection is never relevant in the hilly side. So we are going through that presentation point wise and as you can see, PPE mode for sanitation worker is very lessly used in our place. This one is that after segregation we bail it. This one is placed for bailing in solid waste management center. Bell ringing method is used instead of like door-to-door collection in our place, and vehicle usually don't have that open closed chamber type. And this one is scholarship. At first it goes like this, and after segregation they place it like this. They use compressor here also. Yeah, mostly plastic. Yeah, it's like two different. It depends on the one who want to purchase it. Sometimes they only want plastic bottle. Sometimes they only want cardboard. Based on what they want, we segregate it. Okay. under SBM, we are proposing to cover all the other towns for construction of SWMC. Thank you.
Any questions from
Yes.
Substances for collection of resources. What are they exactly?
Pardon? Oh. Oh, this one.
I think the eco-friendly material for collection. That
Oh, eco-friendly one. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. Actually, this eco-friendly one is usually the bamboo self-constructed basket. It's instead of using garbage bins or that, we usually make the bamboo basket. Okay.
The same slide, you've mentioned the community engagement parameters, right?
Yes.
Where one of the same slide, don't need to change the slide. Yeah. Where one individual contributes to labor for the welfare of the good of the society or the community, and the other one dedicates oneself for the others.
Yeah.
Right. We saw something very similar in Arunachal Pradesh, if I'm not wrong. Can you explain this a bit more? I mean, to what extent has this been successful in Mizoram, and how much, if implemented anywhere, like the village in Arunachal Pradesh, if you actually successfully managed to do 100% segregation or something of that sort using these principles?
Let me specifically describe the word. Natlang is actually those in which our local council calls for public engagement first. Okay. Natlang is a word in which our village council is like calling for public engagement. And Klongaina is in which oneself gives to the other. This one is very common in our place. So it's like whenever there is natlang called in our locality for like say cleaning, like per monthly, it's always happening in our place. And Klomena it's usually like one self-driven for any
Like a
task.
voluntary service,
Yeah,
one puts in.
voluntary, yeah.
So out of the 817 village councils, or let's say the 83 local councils,
Yeah.
how many of them have successfully been able to clean their villages or towns using these methods by voluntary work? Because I assume previously it was done with self-help groups or a similar parameter, and the waste management call as well. So is that something that's very similar, but for all the
let's
all the
say
villages?
like example that I can give is Pulan Town. Pulan Town, they make this eco-friendly directly and follow this composting pattern. Instead of going this collection process and all, they just do home compost and making this eco-friendly dustbin as well as street sweeping. Like that, it's usually Pulan is an example that I can visualize in my head right now. It's Pulan now ranks second in this MCC also.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll talk more on this to you later.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So we are due with Sahas and Ecori. So we'll very sorry, we'll provide you just 5 minutes each for these two organizations, and then we'll go as per the schedule with Healing Himalayas and Waste Warriors. So I'll invite Sahas. They said they will take only 5 minutes to present. They work in Assam, so they will talk about that. What? Midway journey. Okay, okay. इतना सवाल हम लोग खुद ही कर लिए हैं, क्या ही कर सकते हैं, टाइम चला गया. बट हमारे पीछे कोई है नहीं, हमको कहीं पहुंचना नहीं है, यहीं रहना है. दैट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ हैविंग अ रेसिडेंशियल वर्कशॉप, सो वी कैन कंटिन्यू. यस, एंड इवनिंग तो अभी 7 बजे होता है, तो ठीक है, until unless you are hungry or bored. Yes, yes, if you want we can arrange, no issue. Even in the evening you'll have tea and snacks, some pakodi sort of thing in the cafeteria. So tomorrow we have a big thing. I mean, big thing means in the evening after the session, usually in the second day we have some street foods of Rajasthan and some music and all in that amphitheater we have. So you can enjoy and relax. Yeah?
Maybe if you can conclude.
They would like to have what? Always, but our tea is not that good like the Northeast people maybe.
Sure, sure. Project specific. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Again, this is Shakleen, and we will keep it very short. So, to start with, what is Sahas? Sahas is a non-profit organization working in the field of waste management. At Sahas, we believe that when waste is managed at source, it becomes a resource. Since 2001, we have been helping building communities across rural and urban India that manages their waste at source by reducing, reusing, and recycling their waste and achieving maximum resource recovery. That's what we believe in. We are a 21-year-old organization working towards circular economy, and the philosophy we believe in is resource recovery through source segregation, decentralized processing, appropriate destination for all waste streams. So particularly coming to Northeast, is it fine? Yeah. So about our initiative and work in the city of Jorhat in Assam. So first of all, why Jorhat? So this is a particular project which is started last year. Jorhat is the cultural capital of Assam, gateway to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Kaziranga National Park on its east, and world's biggest river island Majuli to its north. So in Jorhat, there's total 19 wards, population is 1.5 lakh, and the waste generation is 45 metric tons per day. The project name is Jabar Mukta Jorhat, which means waste-free Jorhat, and we are trying to strengthen the waste management system in the city of Jorhat. So we were in the first phase of the project, and in the first phase, the objectives were reaching out to 2,500 households in 2 wards of the city and give the households awareness on source segregation and by visiting door to door, and try to achieve 70% source segregation in both the wards by capacity building of ULBs and waste collectors, which is SSGs in our case. So challenges we are encountering now, lacking of 360-degree approach for waste management in phase 1, which so when I say 360-degree approach, which is starting from source segregation, waste collection enhancement, and waste processing. As you can see in the first picture, the blue bags which were handed over to us by the households, those are the bags provided by us to all the households at both the wards to store their dry waste. So that process is happening properly, but the collection and the processing, as you can see in the third picture, that is a plastic waste management plant set up by the local administration back in 2019, which was operational only for 1 week, which was told to me by the security guards and all. So because in our project scope, we don't have the scope for collection and processing as of now, so we were not able to work on that front. How your support influence change? So we were able to achieve maximum 90% source segregation at one of the wards, which is ward number 16. I won't say this is happening every day, but that's the highest which we were able to achieve. So I have a 1-minute video which I would like to show you. apart from, source segregation, we are also trying to reduce the number of waste which is getting generated. These are by different zero waste events. And 1 second. Yeah. Will I be able to pay? I think I can forward you the video. I'm not able to, put the whole slide here. I'll just quickly finish it. Yeah. So we were also organizing low waste Durga Puja event, which was very successful, and we got a lot of appraisal for that. We saved around more than 1,500 single-use, glass, single-use glasses, which are like disposable glasses. We saved 4,000 single-use plastic bowls by using leaf bowls. And these are reviews which you can see by the devotees who came to the Durga Puja. Then I'd like to add Rajbi to this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Maybe I will just conclude with that. So Sahas is into solid waste management, creating awareness, capacity building. It was established in 2001. And since then, we have grown to more than 250 people now. And we are working in about 14 states as on date with 40 plus projects, both in urban and rural areas. And for last 2 years, we have been focused on eco-sensitive areas around national parks. And that's how, we had been thinking that why we are not covering Northeast. So last year, we decided to start in Northeast as well. So the project Jorhat is our first project actually in Northeast. And the second one, we have recently started Majuli River Island. So both the projects are very, very close to our strategy of scaling up our intervention. So if you see in the phase 2, we are talking about 360-degree approach. So we worked with our funders and say, decided that, okay, why don't we go beyond just 1 ward or 2 ward? Because we can demonstrate a lot of things at ward level, but there's a different ball game when you work at the city level. So this year onwards, we will start increasing our intervention and move from 2 wards to 7, 8 wards. And then next year, we'll try to cover whole city of Jorhat. Because then you can actually demonstrate how, all these things which we do, in piecemeal, they can work end to end, at a city level. So right from awareness to segregation, to collection, to transportation, and then rightful disposal, right? So what we believe in here is that, all this thing is possible if you are able to track it. The waste, your resources are actually assets on the ground, whether it is vehicle, whether, sanitary staff, Safai Mitras, they are our assets, right? And we need to see that our assets are very effective, efficient. So we need to actually monitor, we need to track. There has to be a traceability of the waste also, from the source till disposal, right? And the whole idea is that we get into this circular economy where we are able to recover, from the waste, and nothing should go to landfill. I mean, practically it will go, but then we should target that there should nothing be, going to the landfill. So the traceability tracking aspect in Jorhat city, we will be implementing
we have a software platform which will implement end to end, along with our awareness capacity building. Of course, we are not looking at going upcycling, till MRF, then we will work with recyclers and see that can we map, can we connect, can we bring in social entrepreneur. So we want to actually work in a 360-degree mode and to really see that can we have a holistic solution for a city. We talk about Indore, sir, you talked about data is not there, right? So what it means, something which you can't measure, right? If data is not there, which means that you are not measuring what you are doing. And if you can't measure, then you can't improve, right? So for that purpose, we need to actually, this is such a big problem. We need to be really monitoring it. We need to be tracing it, tracking it, and having a very authentic data, right? So if you have authentic data, all our decision making, our policies, can be very, very accurate, and we can have very right fitment solutions. So our approach is that, so we create situations where we can demonstrate, we can pilot. So Jorhat is one. We have recently started on the Panna city because it is also around national park, right? And earlier we did Udupi in Karnataka. So our focus from last 1 year as Sahas is to really go into scale-up mode to demonstrate in cities which are of population of 1 lakh to 2 lakh. And in rural areas, maybe not just restricting to few GPs, but to blocks, right? So in Himalayan region, we will be working with Waste Warrior and, Healing Himalayas in the same region, and we will collaborate also. So there we are working in one block in Kilong. So unless you are able to work at that level, it's very difficult to, have a replication of that solution across. So it should be at good scale so that you can replicate. And then, of course, the government agencies, we have to complement. They are creating infrastructure, but then we need to help them with right processes, right awareness, so that, this can become replicable and scale up. So that's our approach. With that, I think I will conclude. Thank you for listening. Yeah. So together we can, do great things. Thank you very much.
So we have one last presentation from the state, considering the NGO and government officials. So we have with us from Midway Journey. So you may come and actually and present your initiative, what you have did actually. Thank you.
As minimum time as you can. And whatever remaining, after this too, Himalaya, we can continue tomorrow with tourism.
Okay. Yeah. So good evening, everyone, and great to see that there's still so many people sitting and listening to everything. So that's great. My name is Sheshand and I'm from the Midway Journey. We are working mostly in Guwahati and in other few regions also of Northeast. So we'll try to keep it as small as possible. Should I use this case? Which one to use? Okay. It's a
PDF mode, so it's.
I had shared the movie. I had shared the Okay. It's okay. Fine. We'll use it. So just the basics, we started in 2018, so in our team, basically we are around 8 people and no one has any background in waste management, environment, social work. So we learned everything that we do today with time. We learned while working on the field, committed a lot of mistakes, but thanks to great people around us working in the region, also in the other parts of the country from whom we learned. We did register in the year 2021 as, So what do we basically do? We have mostly 3 parts. One is being education, one being research and one being the waste management services that we provide. In education, we have different aspects. One is the basic awareness activities that we do in, yeah. Secondly, zero waste cleanup drives. When we say zero waste cleanup drives, again, this is a learning that we got while doing cleanup drives, which Lodha sir was also mentioning, that cleanup drive is taking garbage from one place and dumping it in another place. And in Guwahati, it's quite special. We dump near, I don't know, we should say near or on Ramsar site, because Ramsar site is not demarcated yet. Hence, it's a controversial thing to say. But it's very close to a wetland and it has an impact. So when we learned about that while we started the cleanup drives, our team members wanted to bring a change in that our waste that we are collecting from the river bank should not be dumped in an eco-sensitive area. So we tried our level best. So this cleanup drives then became citizens training, because whoever would come to our cleanup drives, we no more ask people to come and just collect anything and everything. So when people would come to our cleanup drives, teams were formed. Each team are given specific tasks. Some would pick up metal, some would pick up biodegradable waste. And at the end of 2 hours, what you find is proper segregated waste being collected. That being said, we know much of the waste collected in cleanup drives are contaminated and cannot go for directly recycling. So hence, you can see a difference in the amount of waste collected and the amount of waste we send for processing. It's quite different. But what we achieved is people's training. So we told people that every Sunday you don't have to come, and dedicatedly clean up if you start segregating at home, because that's where the waste is coming from. And a few other activities that I think has worked quite well for us is we started taking people to the dump site. And also to recycling centers. Now we also take them to few aggregators and all, because people need to see what is happening with their waste, because dump sites are like out of sight, out of mind, right? It's little bit away from the city, and common citizens don't know what is happening because of that. So we saw a great change in people's habit once we started taking them to the dump site, and we would create silent visits. We won't take them and start explaining what is leachate and what are the kind of emissions. We tell them it's time to take the smell, right? Feel it, because it's coming from our own homes, And we have seen great change with such programs. And recently, this is a very recent thing that we are doing, that I was explaining the education aspect. So we have been given the task of developing now curriculum for a school called as a Green International School now in Guwahati. So so we are doing some bit of work in the education aspect. And here comes a little bit of the research work that we are doing. One being doing a baseline assessment study we have done in Pasighat. Now we are doing in Manas and Raimona National Park in the BTC region. We have just recently completed the work. Monitoring policy implementations like SUP ban, waste management rules. Third and very important factor, we did a work with students of IIT Guwahati on better understanding of issues related to informal sector. Because for the last 2 years, many funding agencies have been coming and asking that we want you guys to implement something. But the issue is, until and unless we don't understand what are their problems, because in Northeast, the problems are a little more complex. I think we all know the reasons. So we cannot just take money and start doing something. We need time to understand, have more better approach to understand, and then go forward to implement. So we have got some understanding through some work, and creating local resource for zero waste or low waste practitioners, because people don't find options. There are many people, especially during COVID, through social media platforms, people got a lot of motivation to transform their habits, but people don't know where are these open, where are these shops where I can buy loose, and where are these recycling happening. There is no information. So we tried creating this resource for citizens, so that if someone wants to change, you don't have to wait always for some administrative things. Few things we can do by ourselves, right? So some examples of the things that I already said. We have been working with IIT, Assam Engineering College, TIS Guwahati on some studies. and also worked with the on the CPCB characterization inventorization study in 22. And yeah, so I'll go quick. The services that we provide is first being creating zero waste educational institutions. Now we have worked with 3 educational institutions in Guwahati, and we have also expanded to work with offices now. Certain office spaces who want to go zero waste, we are working with. And also the good news is that now the urban local body also wants to support with certifications to such offices, which gives them the motivation also. Second is managing waste in events. Now more and more events, as Itisha said, tourism is booming in Northeast. A lot of events are happening. So we are approached, and we work closely with Northeast Waste Collective, as Midway and Northeast Waste Collective, we work together to manage waste in events. Third is a power loop, which we run as a dry waste collection service. This happened just before COVID, when I was told by the then municipal commissioner then that if we have to implement source segregation, then I'll be transferred from here. So so we thought that if administrative people can't do, then citizens have to take it in their own hands. So we wanted to take up a project to show the power of 300 citizens. It was named as Power of 300 before, but it crossed 300, 500, 800. Now we cannot keep on changing the name as Power of 300, 500, 800. Now it's called as the Power Loop. Under which we are collecting dry waste. We sort it out into 75 plus categories in our facility. Also want to say that for the last 3 years, we have not got any funding for this project. And yet we are able to pay the rent, salary, electricity, that we need, because we wanted to create the model. We have challenges on that, but we are sure that we won't stop. And the final is what we are doing now recently is consultancy that right now we have partnered with the ULB on as a IC partner. Also working on few projects with an organization called Further and Beyond Foundation in Arunachal Pradesh, in Chuliu near Zero, as well as Zamithang, which is close to the Chinese border. So some level of consultancy work also that we are doing as part of our services. Some of the photographs just of our interventions in schools where we are working. And this is the event waste management that we just spoke about. And this is the work we are doing in, though I am representing Assam, just showing some images that of our work in the Arunachal Pradesh in Chuliu. Good thing is people over there in this village, there are 54 families. We took a challenge, and it's working well, if not 100%, that all these families are segregating their waste at source into 9 categories. In every family is doing that. So definitely we learned from the people that source segregation is definitely possible if we have the intent to do that. And this is what we are running in Guwahati, as I said, the Power Loop service. We started with 3 households, as I said, and now we have more than 1,000 households from which we are collecting the dry waste. As of now, we have diverted more than 100 tons of dry waste from going to the dump site, and which is actually quite small if we say from the kind of waste Guwahati generates per day. But the idea has never been that we can alone solve Guwahati's problems, but at least to create something that it can motivate more youth, more organizations, saying this to end with is some kind of challenges that we want to speak about. That definitely in Power Loop, we have operations cost, which is a challenge, and the non-recyclable waste is definitely a challenge. We have been storing a lot of waste. Recently visited some people who have agreed to help, but non-recyclable waste from our facility, because we don't want to just dispose it, here and there. Though as per our data, our reject waste has been less than 1.5% till now, since the last 3 years. And again, the idea is it's because of people. People are not only segregating their dry waste, they are cleaning it. And, it's spick and span the waste that we get, Second is about event waste management. I really want to say that it is a mistake for smaller organizations like us who do not sign contracts before tying up with a lot of partners. Northeast में मैंने शुरू हो रहा है चीजें, तो we are like at least let us work. But then there are big teams where we work, like Majuli Music Festival that happened. We worked with them in 2022, still not paid for that, and many a times, like, such programs happen where we work, we quote, we send emails, but, so those are, I think I'm not just blaming the organizers. I think organizations who are working in this sector, especially who are working independently, really need to focus on this. Secondly, because we are now partnering with the municipality, we have understood one thing, that there is very less priority on IEC activities. Already spoken that there is a huge irony on our situation, that we speak to people. We are working for 5 years in the city. We have got a very good relation with people, but now what we are speaking to people is segregation. Do not throw it on the roads, take it to the municipal vehicles. But the municipal vehicles themselves are not coming regularly. So we are caught in a bit difficult situation that if we ask people to give it, the service has to be there first of all. The service is quite poor. In Swachh Sarvekshan, our collection was nearly 46%, I guess. There is very less focus on the social media. I'm just saying because we didn't talk, I guess, on this, that social media played a great role during the COVID time in really inspiring and motivating a lot of organizations to come out and work. But as of now, even the urban local bodies have their own social media pages. There's a huge potential to reach out to citizens through that. And regarding recommendations, I just want to say 2 points. One is that I'll say recognize what the city has, because in Guwahati and in Northeast, there are some amazing organizations working, maybe on a small scale, but there is no recognition, for this. I mean, I'm not saying rewarding them or giving them money, but at least from the administration to recognize. I can say more than 10 independent organizations right now, just in and around Guwahati itself, were working on waste itself, right? But when I meet the administrative, no one have heard about them, right? So I think they may not be able to solve 650 to 700 tons of waste going out to the dump site per day, but they can definitely scale up from where they are today. And I think there should be separate, I'll say, support for these remote areas, because we have been talking about convergence in waste management, and the funding and all. What I feel is in places which are remote, like near national park areas like Manas, even in Arunachal, I think there needs to be convergence, like who will be transporting the waste. It needs to go to have a specific department. I think it needs to have a change in policies, I feel, because it's impossible. In Arunachal, recently we had a program in Zemithang, which is very close to the Chinese border. It's a vibrant village. In 4 days, we collected more than 4.1 tons of waste in 4 days of the event. And thankfully, I shouldn't say thankfully yet, but we are talking to the army for shifting that, because the army, they will have their trucks. They have said yes verbally till now. But I think this can have a policy change, that if other departments are made to support. Otherwise, I don't see a possibility to take the waste from such remote regions to the mainland. I do not really agree to set up multiple recycling centers in such eco-sensitive areas, because recycling centers is like quite polluting in their own ways. So if waste can be brought, with proper funding and all, I guess it will be better for now. At least I don't know about the future. Standards can be met in the future, I guess, for recycling. For now, I think waste needs to be transported, baled or shredded and transported can, recover the costs a lot. So that's it. Sorry, I just spoke too fast, but for the time, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So since morning, we have been actually listening to like Northeast State, and we have also got to know about the different problem, and also the one who is actually working there in a very efficient way, like the initiative they have taken without any support from the government. So now we have also have a 2 dedicated session, where we are actually get the learning from the other Himalayan state. So first, I would like to invite Pradeep Sangwan.
who's leading the Healing Himalayas, Healing Himalayas organization, which he has actually initiated in 2016, called Healing Himalayas, wherein the sole purpose is to travel and trek for a purpose. So far, thousands of volunteers have participated in the multiple cleanup campaign throughout the year. And with this, since last year, they collect something around 4 to 5 tons of non-biodegradable waste daily through 6 MRF across the Himachal Pradesh, which is if you actually taken like in a collective way, it could be 550 ton of like in a annual manner. So with this, I would like to hand over to the stage to Pradeep Sangwan ji to enlighten the participants.
बस बाकी मैं बता देता. Good evening, namaste, Ram Ram. We've been talking trash all day. ठीक है? No, I'm okay. मैं कर लेता हूँ थोड़ा सा. Let me do some yoga. Okay. We've been talking trash all day. I guess one of the saddest topic in the world is solid waste management. Considering that, how sad are we in a way? Because I've been thinking about it a lot. But very encouraging to hear him out today. Very motivated, and good people in the society even lose hope. The society is doomed. So please stay on the path. You will reach there, no matter if you are getting support or not as of now, but eventually you will. So my name is Pradeep Sangwan, and we've been working around solid waste management for last 8 years now. We're just finishing our 8th year in this April. And I started this journey by, trekking and traveling and promoting trekking for a purpose, traveling for a purpose, wherein people go to the mountains, hill areas, and they leave a lot of trash behind. But nobody, because we come from the concrete world, we don't really connect with the natural world out there. So we kind of forgotten about that. So why not introduce something in between, like Lord Buddha, middle path? Create something for the travelers also, for the local communities as well. So both of them can be benefited. So we started cleaning, we started motivating individuals, we started communicating with the local communities. I've been living in the mountains for the last 15 years. Originally, I'm not from Himalayas like you all, but eventually I got connected with the mountains and I stayed back in the mountains. In 2016, this started, the concept of healing Himalayas. We all got together, we started motivating people. Then when we got to know that how to track and clean at the same time, what are the difficulties, what are the practical problems, how to resolve it. And when we got back to the base after collecting so much of waste and on our backs, we realized where to dispose it of, because the nearest facility is sometimes 8 hours away, because we've been talking about it a lot, because the reverse logistical aspect, how to dispose of waste in the remote location. These are the problems that we also faced back in 2016 and 17. Then eventually we identified locations, multiple locations, wherein the tourism footfall is quite substantial, and wherein the local communities of barely 150 households, and the tourists who are coming on a yearly basis are about 5 to 8 lakhs. And that creates a lot of pressure on the local communities. So we started building those small scale decentralized material recovery facilities that we've been talking about all day. And then we, once we started building those up, we didn't really know how to build it up, though we looked it up on the internet, and much of the work that has been done by the Sahas also, Waste Warriors also, and multiple other good organizations who's been doing it. So kind of, we got the help through online. Then the next challenge was how to make it sustainable, make it profitable, because she was saying that with the help of the community, we've been making the efforts of collecting the waste, segregating the waste, but we don't know how to transport it. If we know how to transport it, it's not sustainable, it's not profitable, because logistical footprint are quite high in the hilly region. Logistical cost is quite high. So how to sort of club everything together and make it sustainable and profitable. So there are categories in material recovery facility that I have identified, and I think you might agree with it. There are small scales, there are mid scales, there are industrial scales in the MRS. For example, one of the facilities that we have collects on an average just 30 kgs per day, which is a very small amount for a community of 150 households. But in the peak season, it goes up to 1 ton. In the lean season, it comes down to 15 to 20 kg on a daily basis. So that's how we calculate everything. Now, how to make that small scale facility sustainable? That should be, at the level of community. Community should take it up. We identified one individual in the village because in Himachal Pradesh, the socio-economic structure is quite good and nobody wants to, work in the waste management direction, and they think that it's beneath them, most of them. So how to identify somebody who is local? We don't have to get somebody from the outside and make him or her the champion of the sustainability and create that ecosystem around waste management in the most difficult terrain of the world. So that's where we identified one individual. He got divorced because he was quite drunk most often. And then again, he started drinking in the village because he got divorced. So to streamline him with the thought process that this is your village and you have to be responsible for it and how to, go about it, it took us at least 8 months to sort of, bring the change in his mindset and in his attitude. So after 8 months of hard work, now he's one of the, champions of the village, and he takes care of the household waste, collects segregated waste, and somebody who's not doing it, he's the one who's going to thrash them also, in a way. So that's being done. Now, how to generate revenue out of it, how to transport it to the nearest facility, because the location I'm talking about is very close to China border. It's in Kinnaur. And from there, the nearest recycling unit is in Chandigarh or Baddi, which is almost 13-14 hours away. And in a truck, it becomes 18 to 19 hours. And that is the logistical footprint and cost that I'm talking about. So अब गांव में जब भी कोई सीमेंट का ट्रक आता है, whenever somebody gets the vegetables or cements or anything, concrete material they bring into the village, while going back it's empty. So we try and sort of, otherwise we used to pay about 28,000 to 38,000 rupees. With them we only pay 7 to 8,000 rupees. So the cost has came down. Now in the next phase, this is being achieved now. What we are trying to do is create multiple material recovery facility within a district, so that we can create a recycling unit within that same district. That's how we are going to solve it. One MRF facility in a district will not resolve or will not be appropriate enough to set up the recycling unit. But if you have multiple recycling units within the village, within the district, then you can. This is what we are doing in Kullu district now in Himachal Pradesh. As of now, we have one material recovery facility. Second is already done, but the operations will start by the mid of May. And we are going to build 3 more material recovery facilities. So the capacity of per day waste collection will increase up to 15 to 20 tons. Only the dry waste that I'm talking about. Wet waste I'm not getting into. Dry waste. And then we will set up a small scale recycling unit whose capacity can be from 2.5 tons to 5 tons of recycling per day. And the revenue will rotate around. Now, all the MRS that we built goes back to the community or individuals from the village who wants to become entrepreneurs in social, in the enterprise. So that's how we're trying to operate it. Because if 3 parties, wants to, generate profit or take profit out of it, it will not become sustainable. But the individual who is going to handle it from the village should have the, profit coming into his pocket or her pocket. So this is how we are trying to set up these, recovery facilities. Another issue that was discussed is NIMBY effect, not in my backyard. That is across the Himalayan states, because we don't really have the land. Most of the panchayats, we don't have it. So technically, how do we get the land to sort of set up these? So FRA is the only way out. FRA, FCA, Forest Right Act, Forest Conservation Act. In FRA, we only have 13 headings, wherein there is no mention of solid waste management unit in those 13 headings. So that's where we need to work out technically if CSC can intervene, and we can all together, put our might behind it and sort of push the forest department, because recently it came back to the DFOs, the power of allotting land below 1 hectare, very recently, because lots of misuse was being done by the local authorities. So that's where we need to identify that if a village can have temple, primary healthcare center, or a school, why not material recovery facilities? So we have to put it equal to a temple, equal to a school, equal to a primary healthcare center. That's how we are putting our weightage behind waste management. Downside of the MRF, another part which I want to sort of talk about is last year in 3 months of disaster that happened in Himachal Pradesh, as we all aware. From the month of July, August, and September, in 3 months we had louder. Okay. Last year, three months were very disastrous in Himachal Pradesh because of the excessive rain and cloud burst and so many things. So tourism stopped. So did the waste, and so did the MRF facilities. So this is the downside. We need tourism also now because we want to keep our material recovery facilities functional. So that is one of the negative butterfly effects of what we do in a way. But the community-based MRS were functional because that's where there are hardly any workers. There are a couple of workers who are segregating the waste. But if we go about 2.5 tons a day or 1.5 tons a day, then we'll need more workers. We need constant supply of funds, and we need constant, incoming solid waste in our facilities. So this is one of the disturbing thing that what we do, because our dependency is increasing on the particular thing that we really hate, and the revenue model is all around solid waste. So this is going to be a challenge for the people who are going into the solid waste management. Two approaches for youngsters, those who are listening. Some of the youngsters are here also. When you start anything related to society, there are two approaches, according to me at least. One is more of an individual aspect, wherein you put your heart and soul and everything into it, and you gain the trust by your hard work, your consistency. That goes for everybody, whether you are in the ULB or Pollution Control Board or individually, Krantikari, people, everybody who's here. So that goes for everyone. In around initial years of our independence, when Prime Minister used to say that we should fast once in a week, people used to fast actually, because the idea behind was that we'd hardly have enough to feed our country. People are sleeping, empty stomach. But if the Prime Minister now, or maybe in the future, he'll say that we should fast every week, nobody will do that now. Why? Because the trust factor has gone within the societies, within the neighbors, especially amongst the neighbors. But how to rebuild that? To address one of the issues, which is not anybody's priority. We've been talking about it like this, but 10 years back, nobody could imagine that all day, throughout the day, we've been talking about, trash. So it's beyond anybody's imagination. But now we are doing it. Now we are talking about it. Now we want to, we should create that trust amongst ourselves, amongst the society. Only then you will see the changes. And that can happen only through the consistent efforts. And that's been the, one of the best parts about our work, that we've been very consistent about it. Self-praise is no recommendation, but anyways, I'll do it. So consistency with the work, and especially in solid waste management, has to be there. Otherwise, it is not going to work. You have to show up again and again, whether the householders are expecting you or not, whether the bureaucrats are expecting you or not, whether the politicians are expecting you or not. Nobody is expecting somebody who's working around solid waste management. So please, you have to go and knock the doors again and again and again. So this is how we've been working around the solid waste management. Very soon we are going to enter into Uttarakhand also. That's where we want to set up certain recycling units, plastic recycling units, and replicate the model across the Himalayan states. So far it's been Himachal, soon to be Uttarakhand. And I especially came to meet each and everyone because I wanted to see what's happening in the northeastern part of the Himalayas, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about Sikkim, but nothing beyond that. So brother is doing good, but sister is missing. So why so? So that's, but I got to know a clear picture that what is happening in all the states. And with the little expertise that I have, I'm open to sort of collaborate, work together, and wherever we can sort of push in, whether in terms of the setting up the MRFs, whether in terms of the highlighting the work, whether exchange the ideas, thoughts. So this is all possible from our end. And another thing that that I feel and believe, that over a period of time, all the people who are selflessly working towards a cause become a little cynical. So if you go into that direction and, trying to come back, just remember why you started in the first place. So that is the mantra behind it, because, the kind of work we do around solid waste management, it's all negative. Somebody's throwing the waste, you are picking it up. It's basically you are picking somebody's attitude that has been thrown here and there. And that is the negative attitude. And you tend to become negative over a period of time, because there are hardly any successful stories around solid waste management. And this is going to be like this only, because there are 140 crore people. Everybody can't be on the same page. And this is what we're trying to achieve. And maybe we are trying to decentralize in our own way, because in one particular village. So do not become cynical over a period of time. Some of the people I know might have environmental anxiety, which is a new term nowadays, because somebody left the tap open, somebody is not, wasting food and etc. So let's not impact and affect our mental health because of what we do. And it has become very, very regular. And I've seen so many people, especially youngsters, they become anxious about somebody doing wrong, somebody is throwing something out of the car. So, I used to run after people, initially in the first couple of years while trekking. I used to wait for people that I know, I see his face and he will throw something. And then I used to wait. And when they used to throw, I used to run after them. So I want to create that whole, environment that in this valley, if somebody is throwing, there's a crazy guy out there. But that don't really work, because in the long run, you have to do multiple things. You can't just do IC activities. If you do it, then you have to provide infrastructure to dispose of the waste that has been collected. So everything has to go hand in hand. And that's what I realized over a period of time. And this is what I've been doing. And another part beyond the, corporation area or the ULB or the panchayats, there are beautiful tracks out there. So across the 12, 13 mountain states, there is no mechanism what to do with those track routes other than national parks. For national parks, there are policies. Back पे ज़्यादा बोर तो नहीं हो रहे भाई, टाइम ज़्यादा लग रहा है तो all okay? हाँ? Okay. So at the track routes, there are no bylaws or rules and regulations beyond national parks. At the national park, you'll find one forest guard at the entry gate. At times you'll find him. Most of the time he's missing. But there are mandates. So beyond an altitude, let's just say 3,000 meters, if something goes up, a glass bottle, trust me, it will never come back. So how to control that at the foothill? That's where we need to work, and I'm trying to work around it. And multiple individuals, organizations, and local bureaucrats tried it, failed, and they're trying it again. So we need to control waste at a certain altitude so that we don't have to go up and clean it and bring it back. Especially heavier things such as glass bottles. You can't really bring it back. We tried multiple times, but it's not possible. And there's a lot of glass bottles that is going up. After plastic, the highest amount of solid waste that we collect is glass bottles, and which is a very scary fact. So anyways, so this is what we're doing. I think I'll wrap it up now. I would like to invite my teammate, Shubhi. She will touch upon a very interesting topic, just 5 to 7 minutes, otherwise they'll kill you. So talk about the material part of what we have. So we are talking about the post-mortem. Once the material is generated, whether it's plastic or glass, we collect it, we segregate it, we transport it, we recycle it. But at the first step, how to change the materiality, how to talk about it, what are the materials that are available, how to replace them, she'll talk about it. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Shubhi Sachan, founder Material Library of India. Me and Pradeep are trying to collaborate at wherever we find an overlap to find a long-term solution of the materials. What am I doing at Material Library of India? It's a not-for-profit, it's a for-profit organization. And why did we start what we started? So we research on waste and find solutions. There are two types of waste we work on, industrial waste and agricultural waste. So when we work, we really believe that when we are working on industrial waste or any kind of man-made waste, it's a damage control situation. We're not really trying to find a solution. We're trying to do a damage control situation because solution doesn't exist. we can do whatever the best we can do, either upcycling, downcycling, or probably recycling wherever applicable. Not every material is designed to be recyclable. So when we are working with the agricultural waste, we are working with regenerative material, where we are actually putting in a resource into place where it need not to be looked into with at intensity as we are looking into industrial waste, right? So we started doing this since 2012. We have been doing it as a consultation for organizations, conglomerate, corporates, so on and so forth. But very quickly put across, I think now when the room is full of all you people who are trying to make the situation and make the world a more habitable place, I think the conversation has to start shifting towards how do we make things better in the first place, rather than just keep on doing this damage control. I mean, if this rate we keep on growing, we'll be the biggest industry in coming times, waste industry, right? So because everything is going towards waste. And when we are working on these solutions, we are often getting told, why don't we mix the two? Once some very reputed organization told us over and over again through the course of our project, we were working with them, that why don't we mix industrial waste and agricultural waste? And that way we are not waste, industrial material and agricultural waste. That way we are reducing the virgin material quantity in manufacturing a thing. But that's not the way about it. And that's how most of us are manufacturing today. We are not realizing that those are two different material streams. And that's where the conversation is starting at Material Library of India, that how do we work with biological nutrient cycles and technical nutrient cycles, and how do we keep them in their places? So waste management has to be easy and not as challenging. Yes, we do have to create categories mindfully to be able to say that waste has 22 categories, 25 categories, or 32 categories, so on. But I mean, do we really have solutions for all those categories? We don't. Actually, we don't have solutions. We are trying to manage it. So managing is one part. We can manage only so far, but actually trying to make things better in the first place, in the first step, when you're conceiving the idea, right, is this solution going forward. And that's what we're working towards with Healing Himalayas or otherwise in all our projects across. And that's what Material Library of India tries to do as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, is everyone tired? I'm not going to repeat this question. Okay. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I missed talking about one point. When we, set up small scale decentralized material recovery facility in the tourism centric locations, what we are trying to address one more thing or include one more thing is how to capitalize on tourism, because they are the biggest waste generators in the Himalayan region. So we are initiating one social enterprise with the local communities. They'll be the stakeholders of it. When we are going to create a 7-day program for the tourists or trekkers or travelers. When they'll come to a particular location, 2 days will be for the trekking, cleaning, and in the MRF. And it's one of the fancy things for people in the country. They'll come down for sure. They'll participate with us. 2 days for the local culture. For example, in the there's a beautiful festival called Fulaj in the month of August. So we'll make them participate in those 2 days. In the winters, if there are wedding happening, so we'll 7 days itinerary. The profit will go back to the local social enterprise, which we are going to create. And the revenue which will be generated for 2 days will go back to the MRF facility, so that we can sustain the operations in a better and efficient way, because revenue is very limited in the waste management, because there are hardly any user fees in the remote regions. ULB itself are struggling to get that kind of revenue. So this is one of the revenue models which can be replicated in Assam also, in Manipur also, wherever you want to do it, especially the tourism centric locations. So fusion waste management, add cultural aspect into it, and add adventurous aspect into it. Club it and generate revenue. Thank you.
So we are supposed to close at 5:30. It's already 6 o'clock now. So I'm not going to extend it anymore today. we are left, we missed a couple of sessions which were scheduled for today, but in events like this, managing time is probably the most difficult thing to do. So we have a session that was supposed to be done by ECORI, which is part of the Meghalaya team. And then we missed a session by the colleagues from West Warrior Society. So we will close it today, now, so that you can spend the rest of the evening your way. Tomorrow, the session was scheduled to start from 9:30. We'll prepone it to 9 o'clock by half an hour, so that we can save at least half an hour and see if we can accommodate both. I know it's not possible, but tomorrow onward, I understand that we have to be more careful about time management. I understand there's a lot to be discussed. Everyone has a lot to share, but then this much we can do within the given time. So what I can promise, like, this community is going to stay, right? Because in CSE, we don't create WhatsApp group just to facilitate logistics. कि airport में कितने बजे आपका flight land होगा, गाड़ी में आपको कितने बजे बैठना है. That's not how we work, right? And we have a long-term vision. We have limited resources. We are not government, right? But we'll put those proposals on day 3 when we summarize the takeaways from this event. But again, we can propose, but the response from the other side, the northeastern states, will also have to be will also be critical going forward, whether they want to collaborate or partner with us, or they want to hear anything. So I have a couple of housekeeping things to announce. So we usually organize a little kind of a trek in the hills. Now, having known the places that you guys are coming from, so it's like a morning walk for you to kind of go and fetch some milk, right? But if any one of you are interested, it is supervised by one of my colleagues from this campus. Takes about an hour to climb up and come down, but then everything has to be done before 9 o'clock, right? But there has to be at least some 8 to 10 people who are interested. So I'll be grateful if you guys can raise your hands. So then, oh my God, okay. Oh, that's a pleasant surprise. Okay, fine. Fine. So these are, I don't know whether you call it hills or something. I mean, compared to the one that you have in your courtyard. But yes, so if it is happening, then the best time to go for a trek is around 6:30, because sun is out, but it's not warm. Rather, it's slightly cold. So you may need some light warm clothing when you go up. Because here, this is a very bizarre kind of weather situation. I mean, the difference in the temperature between day and night is kind of very distinct. And tomorrow we also have a party in the lawn in the evening, and followed by some special menu that these guys might be cooking for us. So because otherwise दिमाग में कचरा भरते भरते उसका सैंडविच बन जाता है, तो उसको निकालना भी जरूरी है. So शाम का टाइम में when we gather in the lawn, there will be no कचरा, right? So you guys have fun, play music, dance, sing, whatever you want. So on this note, let's close it today. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So we as